What's going on, Cougar fans? Welcome to another week's edition of CUC Football Weekly. I'm Parker Kelly with the Cougar Sports Network, and I'm once again joined by head football coach Andy Lambert. Coach, thank you for joining today.
Oh, missed you last week.
I missed you too. It's always fun talking to you.
Yep.
So the Cougars were on the road last weekend at Lakeland University, dropped a close contest to the Muskies, 17-9. I was talking to Coach Hankins last week, and he was talking about how the Cougars have yet to play to their full potential, play a complete game, and the Cougars were right there on the edge versus the Muskies. What will be the key to unlocking that potential and being able to close out a game?
Yeah. So I think the first thing, really the main thing right now for us is just the turnover and kind of major mistake category, right? And so even just starting at Greenville, opening kickoff for a touchdown, we had, a bad snap on offense that went, for minus whatever, and then we had the two drop punts, punt snaps. Same thing on Saturday where if you take kind of everything, the way we played, particularly the defense, played fantastic, but then, we turned it over twice on offense, and we had a couple other snap issues, right? And those all led to points, except for the one turnover. So right now, we just got to hold the football, and we got to find some way for special teams to be neutral, and we just don't have margins to overcome multiple major mistakes. And so I think, even one of the coaches after the game, when we were meeting on this Monday, was just saying, like, the mistakes we're making, they're not just impacting a play or a series, right, or a quarter, like they're impacting the outcome of the game. And so we've just got to somehow figure out a way to be better in those categories and not turn it over and make major mistakes. And so I think some of that has to do with the people you're playing, trying to find different personnel if you can, right? Or if that's the case, the other just has to do with coaching, right? And I'm responsible for putting that product on the field. And so we haven't played poorly, right? I mean, I think we had almost 300 yards rushing last week, but we had on the snaps and the fumbles, you take all those negative yards, and so it just isn't adding up right now to wins, right? It's not adding up to actually winning a football game, and so, like you said, that it all has to come together for that to happen. And
right.
You just keep playing. Our players have been extremely positive. Like I couldn't even tell you how impressed I've been with their demeanor and their energy and just trying really hard to create sort of championship environment, even though we're not playing championship football, right? And so that's been an incredible, even encouragement to me, right? Sometimes I feel like, man, I'm the one that has to manufacture all the energy, but that just has not been the case because these guys have stayed in it so well. So, we love to see fruit of that on the field and win, right? But regardless of what happens these next games, they have been super impressive in coming back, particularly after, Aurora, and just saying, okay, let's control what we can control and see if we can go out there and put a game together.
And I was getting ready to say, one thing that was clicking for the Cougars on Saturday was the run game.
Yeah.
Jacob Redmond led the charge, 16 rushes for 108 yards. Jace Levi even had the big 69-yard touchdown run. What allowed the Cougars to be so successful running the football?
Well, part of it was the wind was blowing, so you have to run it, and you got to try to figure out some different ways to get that. But we've always been a quarterback run system, and so sometimes that looks like 3 or 4 rushes for the quarterback maybe, or called rushes, or you could get up in the 20s. And so we just had some rhythm with some stuff that we were doing with Jacob, and and even the play that Jay scored on was an option play, right? So Jacob could have kept that or handed it. And so we just got some rhythm with that. Jerron Brown is a fantastic tailback, and so he is a guy who can get extra yards. So our sort of power lead game, we got some rhythm with that at different stretches during the game. So yeah, I mean the offensive line's playing well, and we've just got to keep that going.
Now let's talk about the game tomorrow. The Cougars are going to host Eureka College. This has been a much improved Red Devils team, And although they did suffer a loss last week versus WLC, it was a tough loss for the team. But what's the Cougars' strategy in putting away the Red Devils tomorrow?
So, yeah, they've had a great season. So most of those guys from last year's team have come back. So there's we're still in that super senior range right now. So they're way mature on defense and for the most part on offense as well. So I think that's added to their the scores being better this year than last year. And they've won 3 really close games. So coming down to maybe the last possession or the last 2 possessions, which I think is a testimony to their, being an older team. So they want to be real physical. They kind of do what they do. And so I think we're going to have to raise our level to them physically, like being a kind of a legitimate college physical team, with some of our young guys. So that'll be a key. And just like we talked about earlier, we just cannot make major mistakes, in critical situations.
Absolutely, and Eureka is a very physical team. Look forward to seeing how Concordia competes tomorrow. And thank you for coming on today, and best of luck.
All right.
Make sure to check out the Cougars as they kick off versus Eureka College tomorrow at 1 p.m. Coverage can be found at our athletics website at cucougars.com/coverage. I'm Parker Kelly signing off, and we'll see you next week on CUC Football Weekly. Go
What's going on, Cougar fans? And it's game day here in River Forest. A beautiful day for some football as your Concordia University Chicago Cougars taking on the Red Devils of Eureka College. Peter Borkowski here, joined by Parker Kelly on the Cougar Sports Network. And Parker, big game here for the Cougars. We're already hitting kind of the home stretch of the season, second to last home game today for CUC, and they're taking on a Eureka team who, we'll get to it in a minute, but this is a much improved Eureka team from what we've seen in years past. But let's start with the Cougars, Parker. 0-6 on the year, 0-4 in conference play, coming off a tough 17-9 loss against Lakeland last week.
Yeah, and this is a team that I was talking to offensive coordinator Chase Hankins last week. This team has yet to play a complete game, and we saw last week that they were better in some areas but also worse in other aspects. It was a great defensive game for the Cougars. However, couldn't get the offense quite going due to the weather. The conditions weren't very good. It was raining, sideways wind. But this is a team that needs to play a complete ball game against a tough Eureka team this afternoon.
Yeah, in terms of the offense against Lakeland, the Cougars had 7 fumbles. They only managed to lose 3 of them, but Lakeland able to get 2 safeties on the Cougars before because of those fumbles. So we've talked about the turnover margin all year, Parker. It's going to be really key in today's game after Cougars had trouble hanging on to the ball last game. But you mentioned the defense. This was by far the Cougars' best defensive effort, especially coming off a Aurora game where Aurora just ran all over the CUC defense. So being able to come out and hold Lakeland at just 17, really good signs out of this defense.
No, and it was a good confidence booster because it's easy to, after that Aurora game, really get down on the rest of the season. And remember, we're now in the back half of the regular season. And although they weren't able to win last week at Lakeland, they were better and they improved in some areas, and that is going to be a key factor going into today's game.
Right, and as for that defense, a couple of 3 stars we want to talk about, Brendan Arredondo and Trayvon Thomas from the linebacking core, and then the transfer Marvin Rushing in the secondary. These 3 have really been the veteran leaders of this CUC defense. All of them are juniors. Rushing a transfer, so he's a junior as well. But I know these 3 guys, especially Rushing, who's coming here first year at CUC, already making an impact in that secondary. Those are 3 guys you really have your eye on.
Yeah, Rushing is just one of those players where he's a safety, so he's good in the coverage game, and he's also good at stopping the run. Arredondo and Trayvon Thomas both have been here, both know how this defensive system works. Arredondo ranks top 10 in the NAC in total tackles with 49. Both are very experienced, great at stopping the run. This is a Eureka team who's very physical, so they're going to have to rely on all 3 of those players.
Yeah, Arredondo 10th in the conference in tackles per game, and Trayvon Thomas not that far behind him at 15. So between those 2 linebackers and then Marvin Rushing in the secondary, the CUC defense looking for another good outing here against Eureka. But let's talk about the Red Devils for a little bit now. 4-2 on the year, 2-2 in conference play. Parker, despite their last week loss against WOC, a 42-14 beating, one of Eureka's probably worst games of the year, this is still a much improved Red Devils team than what we've seen in years past, and it's going to give the Cougars a different look at this Eureka team than what they're probably used to.
And part of that is Eureka has been so good at controlling the clock. They rank 2nd in the NAC in time of possession, and as I mentioned, they're a very physical football team, and they've always been that way.
Yeah.
And we've seen that CUC has really struggled against those physical teams, so it should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, and another reason for their success this year is their star linebacker, Brendan Durr, conference leader in a few statistics. And just like you have your eye on those 3 defensive players for the Cougars, I know Durr's someone you want to look out for from the Red Devils.
Yeah, Brendan Durr is the heartbeat of that defense. So good at stopping the run, and that's kind of the bread and butter of the Cougars. They love to run the football. Coach Lambert, that's how he's been at pretty much every stop he's been. And Brendan Durr is really good at stopping the run. So if that offensive line is able to neutralize him, it should bode well for the Cougars.
Yeah. Well, Eureka, they've won 3 straight against this CUC team, including last year's 27-14 win at Eureka. So CUC looking to turn the tides a little bit in that current losing streak. But Parker, let's talk about what is it going to take to do that. What do the Cougars need to do here today to come out with a win, their first win of the year, first conference win as well, and head into next week against St. Norbert, which will be the home finale, looking really, really good.
Besides the obvious aspect of improving on offense, I want to see this defense create some pressure, blitz a little bit more. They only have 3 sacks this season, which ranks dead last in the NAC. And for a team that loves to run the ball, apply some pressure, blitz, fill those gaps. Don't allow them to get going on the running game. that's really what I want to see out of the Cougars this afternoon.
Yeah, and as for me, it's all about through-the-air offense. This is a Cougars team. This passing attack kind of struggling. Jacob Redmond, the starting quarterback, only threw for 39 yards last week. And Eureka, they have the worst-ranked pass defense in the conference. So this might be a good chance for Redmond and the rest of this Cougars offense or wide receivers to really pick up those massive gains through the air. And again, just like how CUC has trouble blitzing, so does Eureka. They're second to last in sacks with only 6. So CUC should have some time in the pocket to be able to make those aerial attacks. But we're going to be able to see if the Cougars are going to do that in just a little bit. Kickoff here for Cougars and Red Devils is set for 1 p.m. Parker and I will be on the call with you on the Cougar Sports Network. But before we get to kickoff, we're going to send it down to the field for starting lineups and national anthem. But before all that, we have a very special message from President of CUC, Dr. Russell Dawn.
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
The national anthem has been played. The opening prayer has been said as we get set for some Division III Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference football between New York Concordia University Chicago Cougars and the visiting Eureka College Red Devils. Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Parker Kelly. And Parker, big game here for CUC. Still looking for their first win on the year. 0-6, 0-4 in conference plays. We see the two teams set of captains head out for the opening coin flip. But, I mean, this is kind of the turning point of the season for CUC. The conference title is pretty much out of hand at this point. I mean, Aurora always has that thing locked up, it seems, before the season even starts. But just in these last couple games of the year, they're here against Eureka today, and then they travel. They have St. Norbert next week here at CUC, and then 2 more games on the road. That'll do it. But these last 4 games, this is really a chance to make a statement for CUC and really build some momentum going into next season.
And I mentioned it in the pregame show that it could be really easy to get down, especially after the Aurora loss. But you could tell that this team is starting to put a couple more things together. Last week versus Lakeland, very close loss, one of the better performances we've seen out of this Cougars team. And now we're in the back half of the regular season. It's season 2, as footballers know. So they have a tough opponent coming in Eureka today. Be a great opportunity for the Cougars.
Well, coin flip has been done, as I believe it'll be CUC kicking off here as the special teams get ready to head out. Eureka coming in today 4-2 on the year, 2-2 in conference play, as they're looking to build on one of their stronger years in recent history. In terms of these head coaches, Coach Andy Lambert for CUC in his 3rd season, 6-19, 3-16 in conference play, while the Eureka Red Devils, they're headed up by lead man Kurt Barth, also an assistant athletic director at Eureka. He's in his 15th season as the Red Devils head coach. CUC will be kicking off first. It'll be Ryan Auer to do the honors. Meanwhile, in the backfield for Eureka is number 2, Jack Butler, as well as number 13, Billy Nelson. Nelson listed as the main return man for Eureka. The sophomore Butler also back there, the wide receiver, out of Tinley Park, about an hour south on Harlem from CUC, as Ryan Auer's kick, it's a short one, and it's going to be a fair catch by number 9 on Eureka. That is Cale Lambert. Lambert, a running back, the second running back listed on the roster. So Eureka, they'll get first touch at about their own 30-yard line, and they'll trot out starting quarterback number 3, Caden Frazier, who, Parker, having a bit of a mixed season so far this year. Stats aren't eye-popping, but they're not necessarily bad either.
Yeah, 9 interceptions through 6 games. Can't turn the ball over at that rate, but this is a Eureka team who likes to run the ball. They're physical up front, and that explains why they've been 4-2 up to this point.
So first play will be a handoff to number 4. That is Ben Burnaby, and he's going to get a first down out of it. And Parker, Burnaby listed as the fullback on this Eureka roster. Eureka going with 2 fullbacks, no tight ends listed on the 2 deep, but because of his, even though he's a fullback, Burnaby, the leading rusher on this Eureka team and one of the better rushers in the conference.
Yeah, very untraditional, right, in today's modern game of football, utilizing the fullback the way they do, but that's just how Eureka does things.
And now it'll be a handoff again for Eureka. It'll be short of a first down. On the carry was number 24, which is Angel Garcia, junior out of Elgin, Illinois. Garcia back in the backfield. Instead, Frazier's going to throw, and he's got a first down. Reception there by number 2, Jack Butler. Number 22. That is Austin Swike. And that'll move the chains once again for Eureka, moving downfield effectively to start their first drive.
Yeah, this is a Eureka team that I don't expect to pass the ball a whole lot today. They're definitely more of a run team, so the Cougars are going to have a tough task on their hands.
They'll rush again, but the rusher stood up just at the line of scrimmage. So I'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Again, that front seven for the Cougars has been struggling a bit this year, but they do have Trayvon Thomas and Brandon Arredondo back there. 2 great run stoppers that they're going to have to rely on heavily this afternoon.
2nd down and 10. Frazier's going to throw, and it's over and through the hands of Sebastian Hill. Cameron Mabin's almost coming up with the interception. He's not able to reel it in either, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. But, Parker, just talking about the rushing defense for CUC, 270 rush yards allowed by the CUC defense.
And this is a Eureka team, very big, and they are able to generate a lot of force up front. And for a front seven who's struggling for the Cougars, I expect Eureka's game plan to be run the football. We see a rare throw right there from Caden Frazier, just missed up high to number 5, Sebastian Hill.
Well, big 3rd down here, 3rd down and 10. They will go through the air. The whistles blow. And I believe that'll be a timeout for Eureka. It is. Coach Barth and the rest of his coaching staff didn't see something they liked, and so they'll call a timeout. First timeout of the day used by Eureka. 12:49 left to go here in the first quarter. CUC and Eureka, no score left as you are watching the Cougar Sports Network.
Out more about Concordia Chicago, head to cuchicago.edu for information on our university. We appreciate you tuning in to today's game.
3rd down here for Eureka, and Parker on the year. Eureka 5th in the conference at 37.5%. I know you said you noticed something you want to talk about here as well with the 3rd down.
Well, this is their first big 3rd down of the day, so it's going to be interesting to see what the play call is, especially coming out of the timeout.
And they're going to go through the air. Frazier evades some tackles, and he's finally brought down. Number 96 for the Cougars, that is Jordan Boykin, the freshman. Comes up with a huge sack, and there's that pressure you were asking for pregame, Parker. 3rd down, the Cougars bring the pressure, able to bring down Frazier. That'll bring up 4th down and the punt.
Yeah, nice job by Jordan Boykin, really getting inside, getting his first sack of the year. And for the Cougars, who have only sacked the quarterback 3 times coming into today, that was much needed, especially on the Red Devils' first drive of the game.
So that'll bring out the punter, Sam Bartles. Decent punt there. It's going to take a couple of hops, and Eureka will be the ones to down it. CUC lets it keep rolling as it rolls just inside their own 10-yard line. So CUC offense has a ways to go here. And, Parker, this is kind of the offense that we've been waiting for them to wake up this whole season. They had a great outing against CUW. They put up a season-high 42 points in that loss, but we've seen bits and pieces from the CUC offense. You're just, as you kind of mentioned at pregame in terms of what Coach Hankins said, we're looking for him to put it all together.
And what the Cougars need to do is they need to start out fast. They need to set the tempo here early because this is a Eureka team who, in the times that they've been down, they've really struggled to come back. Cougars need to start out with their foot on the gas pedal.
Man under center is Jacob Redmond, and he's going to look downfield first, and there's a throw, and it's running, and it's dropped. Henry Jones got some hands on it, just couldn't survive the pressure from the defensive back, and Cougars go for a big play on the first down of their offensive drive, and they come up with nothing after the Jones drop.
And nice job by number 0, Jack Arnett, the safety for the Red Devils. It looked like he might have gotten a hand in there. He's 3rd in the NAC with pass breakups with 6 this year. Really great coverage on the speedy Henry Jones.
Henry Jones, a sophomore, his first year at CUC and on the Cougars football team. As Cougars handed off to the rusher. CUC dealing with some injuries in the rushing core, as We're waiting to get a bead on who the rusher was. Believe it was Henry Jones, number 19 on the motion. But CUC, that's another storyline today, Parker, is the running back group a little beat up. Booba Henson has been out for a couple weeks now, and then Joran Brown, who's been the lead back for a majority of the season, he's also dealing with some injuries. He's not in the lineup today, so CC going to be heavily relying on some of their speedy receivers as well as the man who just carried the ball, Sincere Best, but they're going to come up about 5 yards short here of a first down, which will bring out the punt unit.
So a quick 3-and-out for the Cougars. Not exactly how you want to start out the game on offense, but going back to Henry Jones, he got the first 2 touches of the ball game on offense. Expect him to get a buttload of the work. He has 20 receptions coming into today, which leads the team. And due to those injuries in the receiving core with Devin Bledsoe being out and those 2 running backs we mentioned, expect him to get a lot of work here today.
Troy Prattley, he's into punt. He unleashes one. Billy Nelson was back to receive, and instead he's going to let it bounce by him, and it'll land just around the Eureka 38-yard line. They're going to place it at the 39, and so Eureka's offense quickly gets another crack to get out there and make some magic happen against the CUC defense.
And let's see how this defense responds. It had a good defensive outing in that first series. Now the next step is going to be to build upon that, something CUC hasn't been able to quite figure out just yet. If they're able to build upon it right here, it'd be a great starting point.
2 men in the backfield along with Frazier, and he's going to hand it off to Gabe Townsend. The fullback, he's brought down after 2 yards of gain right in front of the CUC sideline. And now it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Red Devils.
And right there, the Eureka running the power read. And nice job by that defense of forcing number 23, Gabe Townsend, to keep getting horizontal and not allowing any daylight to open up upfield, only allowing him to get a couple of yards, maybe even 1 yard. Really nice play by the defense.
2nd down and 8 here. Now it's just Burnaby in the backfield with Frazier. Frazier's going to pass it. Steps back, unleashes one downfield, and it's going to be off the body of the intended receiver. That was supposed to be Jack Butler. He was covered closely by another number 2 jersey in Brandon Montford. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for Eureka.
Actually, I believe that was Cameron Mabins, but nice job by him of having his hands in the air, not bringing his hands down, which would have probably drew a pass interference penalty. Really nice job of Mabins just keeping his hands up in the air, playing excellent coverage on the receiver.
3rd down and 8 here for Eureka. They're going to go through the air again. Frazier looking, and he finds a man for a first down and brought down hard by Montford. One is a number 19, Alex Glover, and that'll draw some flags. Glover had the first down, and then it was Montford. Almost looked like he threw him down with the back of his collar as the refs gather to talk about it.
Sure, this is either going to be a horse collar, maybe even an unnecessary roughness. Have to see what they call.
The head official makes the call. I think they're going to say there's no flag on the play.
So good break by the Cougars defense of stopping Glover before he gets to that first down marker. You mentioned he had the first down, but he really came back to the ball. It's going to result in another 3rd down opportunity for the Red Devils.
Say he caught it past the first down marker, but then was thrown back behind it. And you thought they would get the first down anyways because of the penalty flag. The referees decide to wave it off. So it's 4th down and short here. 4th and 1 is the official call. Eureka going to go for it on their own side of the 50. They hand it to Burnaby, and Burnaby, he stood up, and he might fall his way over. We'll have to see where they rule it. And they're going to rule Eureka first down. So Burnaby got stood up before the first down marker. However, he's able to tumble his way forward, and because of it, Eureka's got a fresh set of downs. They go quickly here. Here's Burnaby again. He's still on his feet, dodging through the defense. He gets a decent chunk of yardage there.
And that's one of the pros of having a fullback like Burnaby, a bigger player listed at 5'11", 215, really stocky build. We'd see him just dragging defenders with him and able to get that first down 2 plays ago. It's just such a powerful running back.
And now they go through the air. Frazier misses his target in Sebastian Hill. That'll bring up third down.
So that's now 2 incompletions when Frazier has been targeting Sebastian Hill. Coming into today, Frazier, a 50% completion percentage, just miscommunication right there, not able to stick the ball on him. We see Hill was running a hitch route, just Frazier misses him to the outside. They have to be better on the offensive end between that duo.
Yeah, Hill, one of the better receivers on this Eureka team. His 73 receiving yards a game is third in the conference as they hand it to Burnaby. He's got a first down, flag down, however. So Eureka, as of now, has a fresh set of downs. They might be brought back. It was thrown right at the line. And it's a holding on the offense, so the ball is going to get brought back. We'll replay third down. So CUC catches a break there with the Eureka penalty.
And we see one of the backline judges was the one who threw the flag, and when he's looking, he throws the flag 9 times out of 10. That's going to be a holding call.
So they are backed up before the original line of scrimmage. Third down and 12 for Eureka. Thought they had the first down. The holding penalty brought it back. Another chance for a CUC stop here. As Frazier, some people jump, flags fly. And Eureka frustrated because they have an open man who caught the pass. It was Kobe Newman. He took it all the way to the end zone, but not going to count because of the flags thrown before the snap.
They're definitely going to get the Cougars on this one, and that's just due to lack of experience up front. We see a lot of freshmen are starting within that front 7. In that situation, you know what Eureka is about to do, and you cannot jump on that down and distance.
Yeah, good deception there from Frazier. We could hear him all the way up in the booth. Gets the Cougars front line to jump early.
One of the quarterback's greatest strengths is using his voice, and that dummy cadence right there by Frazier, getting the Cougars off sides. Great job by Frazier of just doing the little things right.
So 3rd and 7 now for Eureka. They move up 5 yards, still have to play third down, however.
You mentioned the Red Devils have struggled on third down this year, just converting on 38% of their third downs, which ranks 5th in the NAC. See what the play call is right here on 3rd and manageable.
And they're going to hand it off to the running back in number 0, Jacoby Deloach. He's brought down just short of the first down marker. And it'll be 4th and short. We'll see if Eureka decides to go for it. Going to be hard to imagine they don't here.
Yeah, looks like they're lining up, ready to go for it. That just shows you how much trust they have in that offensive line running the ball on 3rd and 7.
They hand it back to Deloach. Deloach will have the first down and a little more. Jacoby Deloach, the freshman out of Columbus, Mississippi. Last 2 carries, and he gets his team a first down. And Eureka, after a very interesting set of downs, I guess we will, a couple of penalties in there, they finally get a fresh set as they continue to move the chains down the field.
Yeah, Eureka has a nice 1-2 punch with Burnaby and Deloach. Burnaby more of a physical back, Deloach more of a speeder back, showing off the speed right there and picking up the first down for the Red Devils.
Garcia gets the handoff here. Garcia finds a hole in the defense. He's still on his feet. Garcia works his way to the sideline, brought down. Big gain there for number 24 in white, Angel Garcia. And the junior brings the Red Devils well into CUC's red zone.
And right there, just poor tackling efforts by the Cougars. we could talk about the physicalness of Eureka all day long, but at the end of the day, the Cougars have to match that intensity, and we've seen a lot of missed tackles here early in the first quarter. Going to have to do a better job of wrapping up the ball carrier.
And off here again to Garcia, but he's tied up and brought down by Arredondo. Talked about the sophomore from the junior, from Dalton, Georgia. No, sophomore, from Dalton, Georgia.
Yeah, Arredondo's one of those players where he's able to get through the gap so quickly. Once he gets his hands on you, he's one of the better examples of and he doesn't miss tackles very often. Once he gets a hand on you, it's pretty much game over.
So 2nd down and 13 after the rushing loss by Angel Garcia. Frazier, and he finds his number 1 target in Hill. Hill's brought down by number 18, Damari Grant. Still short of a first down. Well short of a first down, in fact.
That's the first completion today to Hill, and we see Damari Grant just playing a little bit of soft coverage, which allowed Hill to break off the route, get the ball, get upfield, and get some much-needed yards for the Eureka offense.
Yeah, Sebastian here, all MAC first team last season, and he has already got 438 yards receiving this year and 7 touchdowns. His 42 total points is 6 in the NAC in points scored, as Eureka is going to have to use another timeout here. Kurt Barth showing a little frustration that he's already had to use 2 of his timeouts. We'll still have 4:37 left to go here in the first quarter, so we'll take a break up here in the booth as well. Cougars and Red Devils still looking for their first score of the game. You're watching the Cougar Sports Network. .437 left to go here in the first quarter. 3rd and 9 for Eureka, as they had to use a second timeout. We could talk about that timeout situation in a second here, but first, Eureka, 3rd down in the CUC red zone. Frazier, he's got a runner to his left and Burnaby, and to his right and Garcia. They instead decide to go through the air. Frazier goes in the end zone, and it is brought in. Sebastian Hill, we've been saying his name all day, and he pays it off there with his 8th touchdown of the year. Eureka strikes first, and it is 6-0 Red Devils.
And we've talked about how good Sebastian Hill is. We knew it wouldn't be long before the duo of Frazier and Hill got going right there. We see he was just able to get to the back of the end zone, burn the defense with his speed, get open, and haul in the grab for the first touchdown of the afternoon.
And for the extra point kick is Steven Bartkus. And that'll be good. So 7-0 the Eureka score here, as Parker, I don't think we even really need to talk about the timeouts anymore, but Eureka, we will talk about in a second, already down to 1 timeout left in the half. And this is a problem we see the Cougars have a lot, is their timeout management. And it's gotten better through the first 3 seasons of Coach Lambert's tenure here, but kind of interesting to see it on the other side of the field with Eureka, who's struggling at the playoff in times, I think struggling with communication a little bit. And even though they end up getting a touchdown at the end of the drive, you're wondering if that's going to come back to bite them later in the game.
Well, I was kind of puzzled why they decided to use their second timeout of the half right there, but hey, it ended up working out for them. They strike first blood here in River Forest. Now it's kind of looking like the right call.
Bartkus lines up for the kickoff. Cougars have Troy Prattley in the backfield, as well as, who I believe is Henry Jones. Damari Grant also lines up, and it's going to be a squib kick. And now deciding to take it up for CUC for a short return, it is Wesley Jackson. number 11 in yellow. And CUC has some pretty good field positioning here to start their second drive of the game.
Yeah, we know Eureka's not going to want to kick it deep, especially to Henry Jones, who is the primary returner for the Cougars. We know how dangerous he is with the ball in his hands, the speed that he just brings to this offense. So they're going to do everything they can to kick it away from him. We've seen a short kick and we've seen a squib kick. So nice job of Eureka of not getting it in the hands of Jones.
So Cougars come out for their second drive. They hand it off to Sincere Best, and he's wrapped up quickly and pushed all the way back. That was by number 1 for the Red Devils, Willie Cox, a sophomore defensive end. Gets the stop, and it'll be 2nd down and 8 here for CUC.
Willie Cox, one of those dynamic players for this Eureka defense, and you mentioned it, nice job with him coming off the edge and not allowing that play to go anywhere.
7-0 Eureka after the touchdown pass to Hill. They're now looking to try to get a stop on defense. CUC 2nd down and 8, looking for their first down of the day. And they go through the air here, and it's brought in quickly by Chase Levi. And he's got enough for a first down. Chase Levi, one of the more dynamic playmakers on this CUC roster. Another transfer, much like Marvin Rushing, who we talked about pregame. So far on the year, 328 yards for Levi and a trio of touchdowns through the air.
Yeah, he's just electric when he gets the ball in his hands, makes things happen. Had a 69-yard touchdown run last week at Lakeland. We see him picking up the first down right there.
And now Redmond's going to take it up for a nice gain. Gets about 6 yards out of it. And I think that's kind of the missing piece that we've seen to Redmond so far this year, because we hear about how he is, and he really is, such a talented runner. He's quick, he's good on his feet, but he's, still a good build that it's not completely easy to take him down. But we really haven't seen him unlock that part of his game yet. 114 net rushing yards, but he did have a good rushing game last week against Lakeland, 83 net rushing yards. So maybe we're starting to see Redmond put that aspect of his game to use.
No, he's definitely starting to figure it out. He's slippery, he's hard to bring down, and CUC loves to run the quarterback.
And now they're going to go for Levi downfield. Levi brings it in before getting pushed out. Chase Levi, a huge reception. Covered by David Hill, the cornerback. And the Cougars now into Red Devil red zone.
And what a throw by Redmond, putting it over the shoulder, dropping it in the bucket to Jace Levi. Jace Levi didn't have to do much to make that grab. It hit him right in the bucket. Really excellent throw by Redmond.
So you see 1st and 10 on the Eureka 15. They hand it off to Henry Jones. Henry Jones gets it to Eureka's 5-yard line. CUC 2nd down and 5 now.
And now that's the second jet sweep we've seen Jones have here in the first quarter. They love to utilize his speed. He's great horizontally. He's great vertically. We see right there getting the team inside the 5-yard line, setting them up in prime scoring position.
And now Redmond goes for the touchdown pass, and he gets it. Henry Jones reels it in. CUC touchdown. We have a score of 7-6 now.
It was an RPO by Jacob Redmond. He's reading that outside linebacker. He crashed, which opened up the lane right behind him for Henry Jones to come behind him on the slant. Great job of Redmond putting the ball right on him, and now, pending this kick, we could have a tie ball game.
7-6 after the Henry Jones touchdown. Ryan Howard comes in for the PAT. And the snap is off. The kick is up, and it is good. We are tied up here in River Forest. Cougars, Red Devils, all knotted up at 7 apiece after the Henry Jones touchdown. And we are going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. When we come back, Eureka gets set to receive the kickoff as they look to retake the lead here, 7-7 with 1:39 left to go here in the first quarter. Ryan Howard gets set for the kickoff. Just made the point after touchdown to even up the score at 7 apiece. And Parker, what a difference it is between two drives for CUC. First drive, a quick 3-and-out, and now the second drive, they march downfield in pretty effective manner, and they get the touchdown.
Yeah, and we know how impressive CUC was last week running the football, but how about them passing the football right there? Jace Levi, 2 receptions for 43 yards, and the one to cap off the drive, Henry Jones, the 5-yard touchdown reception. CUC getting it done through the air. A really impressive drive by the Cougars.
After the kickoff, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Devils on their own 15-yard line. 1:39 left to go here in the first quarter, all tied up at 7 points apiece. Eureka breaks up the huddle. Frazier with Burnaby in the backfield. They put a man in motion. And now Burnaby just takes the handoff. He'll get a couple yards out of that rush.
A little eye candy right there from Eureka, putting Alex Glover in motion, but giving the ball right back to Burnaby, sticking with their bread and butter, that physical running back that Eureka has, able to get about 3 yards on the carry.
Burnaby will be sitting at roughly 18 yards after that last rush. 18 yards on 5 carries, averaging 3.6 yards a carry. As Frazier decides to pass this one out to Glover, wide open at the line of scrimmage. He's got some work to do after the catch, trying to spin through some defenders. He can't, however. Flag is down. You can see Coach Barth of the Red Devils frustrated on the sideline. We'll have to see who this call is against.
I believe it might go against Eureka.
And it will be on Eureka. The play is negated by the Cougars because that'll bring up 3rd down. So we got 3rd down here for Eureka.
Saw it. I could have guessed it would have been holding. They run the screen to the right. Back judge throws the yellow handkerchief. So, like I mentioned, 9 times out of 10, that is going to be a holding call.
Frazier. And he looks for a man, and he short arms it. He had pressure right on his face before he got rid of it. So a quick 3-and-out here for Eureka as they're going to bring the punt team out. Line of scrimmage still in their own red zone. Not much of a choice here as Sam Bartles will stroll out for his 2nd punt of the day.
And we see Trayvon Thomas bringing the pressure. That was my key to the game. We see Eureka was running a rub pattern, which means they had a guy go to the flat. They had a guy come behind him, run a slant. Nice job of Thomas getting the QB pressure, forcing Frazier to hurry up and throw the ball. And now CUC is going to get the ball right back.
Bartles, a big kick with tons of airtime. Jones will have to call fair catch. Ball will be placed at the CUC 45 as the offense goes back out to try and build off a very, very good second drive. Again, their first drive, a 3-and-out. Their second drive, a touchdown in just in just a minute 39 seconds of game time. And that's not something we're used to seeing out of the CUC team, Parker, is even when they do get touchdowns, it's usually very long, methodical drives. They're pecking away at the defense. It's not often we see a drive like that where CUC able to head down in just over a minute and a half of game time.
Yeah, they're first in the NAC in time of possession, holding the ball for about 32 minutes and some change. But what an impact it would be for the Cougars if they were able to build off of that last scoring drive and get some more points on the board. And that is going to be the key for the Cougars, is just continue to build on the things that you're doing well.
Yes, CUC and Eureka rank 1st and 2nd, respectively, in time of possession in the NAC. And so far, Eureka's winning that battle, 8:46 to 5:40 in terms of times of possession. CUC's going to hand it off to Best, trying to turn the corner and just almost gets nailed there by Number 14, Hanson Johnson, able to spin around him, still falls to the ground because of it. It's a gain of 3 out of it. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
And we see Sincere Best, despite being a freshman, we see he's not afraid to lower that shoulder. A really nice job of him of embracing the contact by Hanson and picking up whatever yards that he can.
And the clock hits 0, which means that'll do it for the first quarter. Both teams showing some good signs of life on offense. Both score a touchdown, and we have a 7-7 tie as we head to the second quarter. We're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network, and when we come back, Cougars, they are marching downfield. They got 2nd down and 7 to go. See if they can put another score up on the board when we're back in just a second.
Cougar Nation, we love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank button. This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some of the great Cougar football moments. Thank you and enjoy the game.
Second quarter about to start here for CUC and Eureka Cougars. 2nd down and 7 on their own 48-yard line as they're looking to build off their last offensive drive, which resulted in their first touchdown of the game. They put Henry Jones in motion, and they're going to hand it off to Best. Best able to push through the first line, get a couple yards. And that'll bring up 3rd down here for CUC, 3rd down and 6.
I'm interested to see what the play call is going to be right here. Statistically, in these types of situations, Concordia has been known to run the ball. We know Sincere Best is going to get the majority of the carries with the injuries to Brown and Henson. So I'd like to see what the play call is going to be right here.
CUC offense looking towards the sideline to get the call as we have just 7 seconds left on the play clock. They're under 4 seconds now. They get it off. Redmond, he goes downfield, and he had a man in Jones heavily covered by Billy Nelson, and the throw was out of bounds anyways, so that brings up 4th down, and the punt unit throws back onto the field.
Yeah, I'm thought we might see a penalty flag thrown right there as Billy Nelson fell on the coverage. Kind of surprised they didn't throw the flag, but we have a punt coming up from CUC. Eureka's going to get the ball right back.
Punt by Troy Prattley. He's going to take a couple bounces out of bounds. Able to pin Eureka within their own 20-yard line. So CUC defense gets back out there. A good day so far for them. Again, Parker, this is a defense. They're coming into today in the NAC rankings, dead last in points allowed per game at 48.5. Now, granted, 91 points allowed to Aurora. It's going to sway that a little bit, maybe tip it in the wrong way, but they're also coming off their best defensive performance last weekend against Lakeland. So this is going to be a big game to just tell where this defense really is at this point in the season.
It's going to be a good test with the physicality that Eureka brings to the table. So far, CUC hasn't shied away from the contact as we have a tie ball game here early in the second quarter.
In Eureka's first 3 drives of the game, 2 punts and a touchdown, averaging 24 yards gain. As they hand it off to Garcia. Garcia able to scrap his way to a 1st down. And Eureka now just a few yards past their own 30-yard line.
Eureka running an inside zone. Nice job of that left side of the offensive line, really opening up the gap that allowed Garcia to get right through and pick up the first down.
So fresh set of downs for Caden Frazier and his offense as he fakes the handoff to Garcia. Now he looks way downfield. He's got a wide open man. It's Sebastian Hill, and he's able to reel it in for the catch. Sebastian Hill had to reach out in front of him for that one, but Frazier dropped it in. And a huge, huge gain through the air as they are inside the CUC red zone.
And Frazier showing off the arm strength right there. Sebastian Hill somehow got completely past the defense. Nice job of Hill of hauling in that pass, and a huge gain for the Red Devils.
1st and 10 on the CUC 18. Snap a little low. Frazier able to dig it. Hands it off to Garcia, and Garcia now making his way through the defense. 2 yards short of the first down. Be 2nd and 2.
We're going to see a lot of rushing attack from Eureka. So far, Garcia's been the leading ball carrier. We've seen Burnaby and Deloach as well. Three-headed monster for Eureka.
They hand it back to Angel Garcia. Able to get a first down out of it, and it'll be 1st and goal now for the Red Devils.
Thinking of the LSU women's basketball player, Angel Reese?
Most likely I am, yes. Say basketball season kicking off not too far from now. College and NBA. NBA starts this upcoming week. Meanwhile, on the CUC gridiron, Ben Burnaby pushes his way to a touchdown, and he's going to give Eureka the lead right back, 13-7 now in favor of the Red Devils. And Parker, we are seeing what makes Ben Burnaby so special right there, which is just his ability to push through that line of scrimmage, push through that front seven, and bully his way into the red zone, into the end zone.
Yeah, Burnaby really embodies the philosophy of Eureka. Just such a downhill runner, just pushing his way through and getting into the end zone for Eureka's 2nd touchdown of the first half.
The point after almost blocked, but it's still able to slip through the CUC hands and the field goal. 14-7 our score here at Concordia. 11:39 left to go in the first half as CUC gets set to return the upcoming kickoff, and they will look to tie this one up. But for now, we'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a second.
Hey there, we appreciate you tuning in to today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC football, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC FB Family. We'll see you soon on campus.
Prattley and Henry Jones set to return the kickoff. Prattley calls fair catch within the CUC 5, so CUC will start on their 25-yard line. And Parker, we've seen 3 drives now from the Cougars, 2 of which have resulted in punts. But what do they need to do on this upcoming drive? What do they need to replicate from their touchdown drive in order to find success and hopefully even this one up?
Well, they need to go right back to the passing game. We saw that a couple of possessions ago, really targeting Jace Levi through the vertical passing game. Since that point, have not gone back to him. You need to go back to the players that are able to make plays for you, and Jace Levi has been doing that all season. So get the ball in the hands of number 6 in gold.
Redmond, they will look through the air, and he finds a receiver for a short gain. That was Henry Jones on the reception. Gets 4 yards on the pass. So 2nd and 6 coming up here for CUC.
And despite Jones' speed, he's also good just getting the ball on those short routes we see running the hits right there. And he's so dynamic with the ball in his hand, but good job of Nelson really wrapping him up, not allowing Jones to get any more yardage after getting the ball in his hands.
2nd down and 6. He finds Jones across the middle, and he's hit from the side right at the 1st down marker. And they are going to rule it a 1st down, just enough from Henry Jones. And CUC will pick up another set of downs here. 10:44 left to go in the 1st half.
We see Jones is getting the ball very often. CUC loves those RPO slant routes with Jones as he is able to get right up the middle and get another set of downs for the Cougars.
They swing it out to Jones, and he's brought down in the backfield. First man in was number 0 for Eureka. That is Jack Arnett, the senior safety, sniffing out that play. And it'll result in a loss of yardage for CUC. 1st and 10 now turns into 2nd and 13.
That was the 3rd play in a row that Jones was able to get the touch. And nice job of Eureka's defense sniffing that out from a mile away, tackling Jones in the backfield, resulting in a loss of yardage.
Redmond fakes the hand off to Jones. Now he takes it himself, gets right to the 1st line of scrimmage. And get a couple yards more, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 now.
I don't know if you saw that, but nice block by number 65, Christian Duran, the right guard for the Cougars, driving his man over to the sidelines, almost getting the pancake block. That's the type of physicality that CUC is going to have to bring to the game here this afternoon.
Yeah, Duran, just one of 3 upperclassmen on this offensive line. The other 2 freshmen in Tanner Mosley as well as Ezekiel Pearson. And Sincere Best goes in motion. Redmond's got to have to roll out. Redmond, he throws it, and it's over the hands of number 16, Amarian Glover, into the sideline. That'll bring up 4th down. No flags on the play. And CUC going to have to trot out the punt unit once again here.
It was the right idea by the Cougars. That pass was over near the intended 1st down marker. Just a little bit of a high throw from Redmond, and the Cougars are going to have to punt again.
So CUC gets set for their 3rd punt of the day so far. Troy Prattley doing all the punting. As he gets set now, the punt is up, and it is right into the hands of Nelson. He's going to take this, gets through the first couple tacklers, and now Nelson, he's off to the races. All he's got to do is beat Prattley. Nelson stumbles, and he falls under his own will. The turf monster trips him up. And Billy Nelson, less than 15 yards away from scoring a punt return touchdown on the Cougars. Instead, looked like he was trying to put a move to beat Prattley, just tied himself up, and CUC catches a huge break there.
Huge sigh of relief by the Cougars. That return by Billy Nelson, almost a little reminiscent of Daniel Jones' long run where he almost had a touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that turf monster can be a little tricky.
Yeah, again, it looks like Nelson was trying to change up direction in order to beat Prattley. It was the last man he had to beat, and between his attempted move and the CUC turf, just could not stay up on his feet. Still a great return there from Nelson as he puts the Red Devils right back in the red zone. Garcia spins off a tackler. He's still on his feet. Gets a 1st down plus a few more yards. Angel Garcia looked like he was dead to rights, but able to stay up, spin off the group of tacklers, and he brings up 1st and goal for Eureka.
Garcia, one of the smaller players on this Eureka offense. Cougars had more men inside the box, but Garcia somehow able to squeak out a couple more yards.
Garcia gets the handoff again, brought down at the line. No gain there. 2nd down and goal it remains from the CUC 4-yard line.
Expect another run right here from the Red Devils. They've shown in this type of situation, considering the down and distance, that they do have a lot of confidence in that run game, but also don't be surprised if we see a connection possibly to Sebastian Hill.
2 men in the backfield for Frazier, and he gives it to Garcia again. Garcia able to get past the line. He drops the football, however. No touchdown on the play, able to get a few yards out of it.
Looked like Garcia was really trying to extend, touch the nose of the football to that pylon, just lost it. Not even sure if Eureka was able to pick up any positive yardage right there.
If anything, maybe one. Luckily for Garcia, ball bounced out of bounds in the end zone. CUC not able to recover. That is officially a gain of 1 for Garcia. So 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line. This time they go through the pass and just over the outstretched hand of Sebastian Hill. So CUC defense able to bring up 4th and goal as it's decision time now for Coach Barth and the Red Devils. And they are going to bring out the field goal unit.
I'll tell you what that was right there. Frazier had Hill in the back of the end zone, but it's what we talked about. CUC brought that pressure, forcing Frazier to throw the ball a little sooner than he would have liked, and now that's resulting in the Red Devils bringing out the field goal unit. So great job by the defense of applying that pressure.
Barkis's field goal is up and good. Chip shot for number 87. So Red Devils, they come up empty after the big punt return by Nelson. In the touchdown category, able to tack on 3 points, however, through the Barkis field goal. It is 17-7. 7:14 left to go here in the first half. We'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network, and when we come back, CUC, they get set to return the kickoff. Barkis, his field goal made it 17-7. Now he kicks it off to CUC. It's right to Henry Jones. Jones is going to decide to take it, see what he can do on the kickoff return. Stutter steps, decides to try and go through a hole, can't find anything as he is short of the CUC 20.
And the offense really needs a response right here. You're already in a 10-point hole. What we know about the Cougars is when they get down a little more than they like, it's been hard for them to come back and at times have really struggled to find any rhythm offensively. So Cougars really need a response right here.
7:07 left to go here in the second quarter, 17-7 in favor of Eureka. Plenty of sevens going around on the scoreboard right now as CUC gets set for drive number 5 of the day. 3 punts and a touchdown through their first 4 as Jacob Redmond's going to keep this one brought down, and there's a fumble. Ball picked up by Eureka, and Eureka gets the turnover almost like a magic trick. I didn't even see the ball come out of Redmond's hands, and the next thing you know, Eureka's got it, and now they're going to have possession deep in CUC territory.
Not a good sequence of events for the Cougars at all. Not even sure who the defender was, but what I do know is he's able to get his helmet on the football, which popped the football right out of Redmond's hands. And now you're setting up Eureka in the best starting field position they've had all afternoon.
Well, and on top of that, this CUC defense is going to get wiped out here. I mean, they just came off a big goal line stop, or a red zone stop, I should say. And now they have to head out right to the field again after one play by the offense. And they have to get another big stop here as Eureka setting up on the CUC 29. They're going to hand it off to Deloach, and he'll pick up 3 yards out of it.
Yeah, when the offense is quick to get on the field and off the field, forces your defense to have to play more minutes than they would like. It's easy to get gassed, especially against the physicality, and we know that Eureka likes to run the football. It's forcing that defense to play a lot of minutes. Cougars offense has to be better at complementing this defense.
As you just saw the replay on your screen of the Redmond fumble, that ball just popped right out of his hands and right into the hands of the Eureka defender. Couldn't line up any more perfectly for the Red Devils defense as Deloche gets another rush here. Comes up a little less than 3 yards of a first down. A little less than 3 yards short of a first down.
So right here, if you're the Cougars defense, it's 3 or nothing. You want to force Eureka to have to kick a field goal.
So we get a break here as there is a Red Devil on the ground. So the trainers as well as head coach Kurt Barth of Eureka check out their injured Eureka player. We'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Eureka still on top of the Cougars 17-7, 5:55 left to go here in the first half.
Hey Cougar fans, thanks for tuning in to today's game. For more information on the football program, head to cucougars.com. We hope to see you soon in our next game.
So the injured Red Devil helped off the field, and that'll bring his offense back out now. 3rd down and 4 here for Eureka, as they're going to let Frazier throw, and it's over the hand of Hill. Hill closely guarded by Damari Grant. And now that'll bring up 4th down. Decision time again here for Coach Barth. 4th and 4, as they are going to bring out the field goal unit once again. Parker, I want to get your take on this. So you're up 10 points. It's a 2-score game. It's 4th and 4 in the CUC red zone. Is this the right decision to go for the points here, or would you rather Eureka be a little bit more aggressive, try to really build on that lead?
Go for the points. You never go broke taking a profit.
So Barkus comes back out, and his kick almost blocked again. CUC special teamers are getting dangerously close, and because of that, the kick goes wide of the field goal. So CUC, their defense steps up big time here after the Redmond fumble. They're able to stop the Eureka offense in the red zone. The field goal no good, so no damage done for the Cougars on that fumble.
And it was a great job of the defense really bailing out that offense. So we see the early turnover from Redmond. But I want to transition to talking about the field goal unit of Eureka. Stephen Barkus is now 2 for 5 on field goals of the year, which is 40%. And anytime you're under 50% as a kicker, that is never good. Really nice job by the defense and special teams bailing out that offense.
Yeah, Stephen Barkus, a senior too, out of Seneca, Illinois. So kind of odd to see such low conversion numbers from a veteran member, as Redmond's going to have to scramble. He's looking, flags down. Redmond finally brought down. On the tackle was number 3 for Eureka, Garrett Wayne. There is a flag down, however, so we'll have to see what the call is.
Yep, definitely. That was holding again on that CUC offensive line. Looks like it might have come from the right side, maybe potentially on Solomon Mosley, big number 77, playing right tackle.
Yeah, Mosley for the Cougars, one of those players that I think you can tell they're really trying to get into the starting lineup. Mosley, a huge body, should be an absolute monster on the offensive line. Has been dealing with some injuries, though, through his career, a sophomore, as Sincere Best gets a decent chunk of yardage there. But when you're looking at Mosley, if you could have him line up on right tackle for the next 3 years, you're going to be pretty happy about that.
Oh, yeah, he's a big guy, very strong, brings a lot to this offensive line. You mentioned that he was kind of nursing an injury, a shoulder injury, last season and here earlier this season. I know the Cougars are happy to have him back.
Well, he trots off the field for a break. CUC 3rd down and 7 here after the best rush for 8. As Redmond, he finds an open man in Henry Jones, but overfires over the hands of Jones, so that'll bring up 4th down. And Parker, if you're the Cougars and Redmond's still a sophomore. He's still a young guy. He still has plenty of time to develop, but those are kind of the plays that you need to see him make. He has an open guy in Jones. Not a huge window to throw. You know, it was a pretty short time that Jones was open, but you have to be able to convert on those if you want to keep this offense moving down the field.
No, if you have a streaking Jones running down the middle of the field like that, he would have been able to pick up the first down, but we see Redmond has struggled a little bit with his accuracy, 41% coming into today. That's a throw that you have to be able to make.
So they bring out Troy Prattley. His punt takes a couple bounces and will keep on rolling to the Eureka 41-yard line. So CUC defense, they're going to be leaned on again to come up big here. 4:35 left to go in the second quarter. Eureka still on top of CUC 17-7. CUC's defense has given up 2 touchdowns and a field goal in 6 defensive drives, have forced 2 punts and a missed field goal. As they're going to be, again, called upon here to come up with another stop.
And the Cougars defense has, at times, it contributes to their lackluster numbers a little bit on the defensive end. When you're forced to play so much on the field, it seems like the CUC defense for the majority of this first half has been on the field a lot more than the offense has. So they're just going to have to rely on their defense to get another stop or maybe even a potential turnover. But at some point, the CUC offense has to get going.
Yeah, CUC spent 14:33 on the field. That's the amount of possession that Eureka has, while CUC, they have just 10 minutes and 52 seconds of possession as the ball is moved up the field. Must have been a call or something that we missed, as that ball is moved up a good chunk of yardage. So better field positioning here for the Red Devils as they hand it off to number 9, that is Cale Lambert.
The penalty was on the Cougars, unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's a 15-yard penalty for the team, and penalties just so costly for the Cougars here in the first half.
Yeah, CUC, in terms of penalties, have been hurt by a couple offensive penalties. We've also seen a fair bit of the coaches negating the penalties, deciding to wave them off. So it's kind of thrown off the penalty numbers a little bit, as Frazier sends one up, and Hill is tripped up by a falling Mabins. Maybe a little surprised, no flag on that play. Mabins falling to the ground, ran into Hill's foot, and Hill unable to reel in the catch because of it.
I'm not one that usually likes to criticize the refs, but very surprised we didn't see an offensive pass interference right there, as Sebastian Hill blatantly pushing Mabins to the ground, which allowed him to be standing alone over inside the 10-yard line. Very shocked we didn't see the flag thrown.
Still, even when he was falling to the ground, a piece of Mabins caught the foot of Hill. That's what caused Hill to stumble and miss that catch. Whistle blows, and now we get a timeout here as Eureka using their 3rd timeout of the half. They're already at 0 now. And this is where things get interesting, Parker. 3:52 left to go in the first half, and Eureka, they're without a touchdown. So CUC has a massive advantage in that category as they've got 3 of their own. 3rd and 7 for the Red Devils.
And you got to get a stop right here if you're the defense And we see Eureka using their final timeout. It's okay that they use it in this situation as they have a little bit of wiggle room with that 10-point window, 10-point lead. But if you're the Cougars, there's still considerable amount of time left, 3 minutes, 52 seconds. Get a stop right here, send it to 4th down, get the ball back. That's still some time to make something happen.
.352 left to go here in the first half, 17-7 in favor of the Eureka Red Devils. Frazier steps back. He has to get rid of it. He finds Burnaby, who maybe could pick up something. The pass before the line of scrimmage.
Be a couple yards short. Wouldn't be shocked if Eureka decided they wanted to go for it right here. Not necessarily a situation you want to punt and too long out of field goal range, so looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field and go for it.
They're going to say that they got a first down out of that.
Definitely thought he was a couple yards short.
Looked short, but again, he did get brought down in front of the CUC sideline, so it's kind of hard to see over the wall of yellow jerseys in front of us. Either way, Eureka, fresh set of downs to play with now. Frazier swings it out to Hill. Hill now, he's going to use his yard after catch specialty. And he gets knocked down out of bounds right past the first down marker. So another set of fresh downs for Eureka.
Sebastian Hill, so dangerous on offense. He's been the primary target for Caden Frazier coming into today. 21 yards per catch. Just so dangerous when he gets the ball in his possession.
2:42 left to go here in the first half. As Hill now lines up in the backfield with his passer, Frazier. Frazier takes a couple steps to avoid pressure, just gets rid of it out of bounds. Right, the group of CUC players who dealing with some injuries right now, also wearing their track outfits. Their sweatsuits, whatever you want to call them.
Brings up a 2nd and long. Get a couple of stops right here. We already know that Eureka's missed a field goal the possession before this. You're able to get a stop right here, force them to potentially kick another field goal. Could be a good situation for the Cougars.
2nd down and 10 here for the Red Devils. Frazier finds Hill to his left, but Hill bobbles it, can't bring it in. And that'll be another incompletion for Frazier. That brings up 3rd and 10. Frazier now 8 for 16 on the day, 111 yards and a touchdown. But came in today a 50% passing completion rate. He's got 50% exactly right now.
We see Eureka, they've reverted back to going huddle offense, and a rare drop on that previous play by Sebastian Hill as he was looking to get the bubble screen, just looked upfield right before he looked the ball into his hands, resulting in the drop.
They put Jack Butler in motion, and they handed off now to Burnaby. Yeah, I think the point of that play was just pick up a couple yards, give your field goal kicker a little bit more yardage to work with, but they're looking to keep the offense out right now, and I think they're going to go for it here. 4th down and 7, just a yard shy of the CUC red zone.
Not sure Eureka trusts their kicker Barkas to kick necessarily this long of a field goal, so I like the aggressive approach from Eureka.
And they're going to get a jump there from CUC. Free play. They send it downfield, and it's brought in by Hill. But was he in bounds? He was not. Incomplete play, but Eureka likely to get a first down out of it anyways because of the CUC offsides.
That's the 2nd time the Cougars have jumped in a similar situation, whether that be 3rd or 4th down. That defensive line has to be smarter. You know what Eureka's about to do, especially in that situation. If you're able to jump off sides, that gives them 5 free yards. So that front 3 for Concordia has to be smarter.
So It'll be 4th down again. This time it's just 4th and 2. We see Burnaby line up to the right of Frazier. I think we know where this play might be going. They hand it off to Burnaby. Burnaby's got a 1st down, still chugging along. 1st down for the Red Devils, taking advantage of the CUC penalty. And with 1:26 left to go in the first half, it'll be 1st and goal for the Red Devils as they bring out some different personnel here. Frazier off the field.
Looks like they're going Wildcat right here with either Burnaby or Angel Garcia.
And they snap it to Burnaby. Direct snap. He's just going to carry it himself, and Burnaby rushes into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Devils. Direct snap. Burnaby sidesteps the defense, and he will make it 23-7, 24-7, pending the extra point.
And we just see how costly a penalty or two can be. The Cougars jumping off sides, giving Eureka a 4th and 2. They're able to pick it up due to their running attack, and now able to get the touchdown, which puts the Cougars even more of a deficit.
The extra point from Barkus is up and through the uprights, 24-7. Our score here in River Forest as the Red Devils on top of the Cougars, 55.6 seconds to go in the first half. We'll have to see if the Cougars can make something happen quickly here, or else they'll be heading into halftime, trailing the Red Devils by 17. I'll find out what they can do when we come back in just a second on the Cougars Sports Network.
In finding out more about Concordia Chicago, head to cuchicago.edu for information on our university. We appreciate you tuning in today's game.
.6 seconds left to go here as Barkus gets set to kick it off to Troy Pratley and Henry Jones set to receive for the Cougars. A huge kickoff there. It's going to head into the end zone for a touchback. But Parker, the Cougars, they have 55 seconds plus a little change to score something here. They're going to head into the halftime locker room a little bit better off than they are now. I mean, what's it got to take for this defense to do? You got to imagine it's got to be some big passes through the air, which we just really haven't seen today other than that one touchdown drive.
Well, I see the Cougars being very conservative right here. Don't want to force anything too much down the field. And just knowing Coach Lambert and the type of play caller that he is, you can see the Cougars just wanting to take this thing into halftime, make some adjustments.
Cougars will get the second half kickoff. So a chance for a swing here as they send the receivers out. It'll be a short pass to Best. Best, he gets pushed out. 2 yards shy of a first down. Gets pushed into his own sideline. 49.6 seconds left to go in the first half. And Parker made a good point. Coach Lambert, we've seen him in these late half situations a couple times so far this year. Usually does decide to be more conservative, as you said, would rather go down and go into halftime the same deficit rather than, make it any worse because of a turnover. As now they look for Jace Levi downfield. He brings it in for a huge gain. Jace Levi doing some good work in today's game. The big play machine for CUC. And he brings them all the way to the Eureka 33-yard line.
And if you're trying to push the ball downfield, that is the person you want to go to. They singled out a fade route for Jace Levi. He was one-on-one with the corner. Once again, another perfect pass by Redmond, dropping it in the bucket, and a huge gain for CUC.
As you can see, the replay coming up on your screen now. CUC sending the receivers out. Redmond just enough time, drops that right into Levi's hands, and Levi, 6'1", 200 pounds, so he's got the size to go over the rim on some of these defenders. He does that there, and CUC now in much better field positioning. Still 44 seconds left, 2 timeouts on their side as Coach Lambert just used the first one to stop the clock.
And the Cougars starting off this drive, very impressive, going back to the pass game, targeting Levi. And if you notice, when you target Levi, good things are bound to happen. So nice job of Redmond getting that pass to Jace Levi, putting it where only his receiver can catch it in a big chunk of yardage.
44 seconds left to go here in the first half. CUC marching downfield. Redmond. And he's going to look for Henry Jones. And Jones unable to bring it in. Covered there by number 22, Malik Jones. Some Jones on Jones action. And because of the incomplete pass, it'll be second down and 10. 37.8 seconds left to go here in the first half.
We see the Cougars running the exact same play, sending Henry Jones on a fade route. Due to his speed, he was able to beat the defender, but it was a long throw for Redmond to make. Pulls Jones inside, and he's not able to come up with the grab.
So you see second down and 10. Redmond has to roll out, and he's just going to get rid of this ball. A sack would be catastrophic here for the Cougars, as it'll bring up third and 10. 32.2 seconds left to go here in the first half.
And that's what you have to do if you're Jacob Redmond. You're forced to roll to your right. Nothing open downfield. Have a defender in your face. Just got to get rid of that one. Live to fight another down.
So CUC third down and 10 on Eureka's 34-yard line. 33-yard line, excuse me. And so he's going to look downfield again. Redmond. And he finds a man in Levi again. Jace Levi, an absolute magnet for the ball. He'll pick up a first down, and Parker feels like you throw anything in Jace Levi's general vicinity, he's going to be able to reel that in.
Well, that was a dangerous throw by Redmond, too, because Jace Levi was double covered. They know how dangerous he is, but Redmond put the ball where only he could get it to his outside shoulder. We see Levi running an out-breaking route, and once again, Cougars able to pick up the first down, move the sticks.
So you see puts Henry Jones in motion as Redmond now has to dance around. Redmond rolling out, and he just throws this one out of bounds. That'll bring up second down and 10, 20.3 seconds to go here.
We've seen on a couple of plays here on this drive by the Cougars, you're getting some pressure come up the middle and on that left side of the offensive line, which is forcing Redmond to roll out and having to get rid of it. That was a costly play. Takes some time off the clock, but you still have 20 seconds to work with. So Cougars in pretty good field position, so let's see what they can draw up.
For reference, Ryan Auer, his longest field goal of the year was a 35-yarder. As it would be a little bit more than that right now. Redmond, again, rolls out, tries to find Jones towards the sideline. He can't. That brings up third down and 10.
He had Henry Jones running an out route towards the sideline. Redmond put a little bit of air under it. In that situation, you got to put the ball right on him because, as it is, Jones already didn't have a lot of sideline to work with. So if you're Redmond, you got to put that ball on him, allow Jones to catch it and get out of bounds. You move the ball a little bit and stop the clock.
Third down and 10 for CUC on the Eureka 22-yard line. 16.1 seconds to go here in the first half. CUC looking to put something on the board here before we head to the locker rooms. Redmond, and he launches one towards the red zone, and it's bobbled and almost intercepted. Hitting his helmet in frustration was Billy Nelson. That ball took a couple bounces off some set of hands, and Nelson just could not reel it in before stepping out of bounds. That'll bring up fourth down and 10. 10.6 seconds to go in the first half.
And I'm not sure I like the decision right there by Redmond. You had Dace streaking up the middle on a seam, but in triple coverage. And if you're Redmond, you can't throw the ball right there and put the ball in harm's way. Not a good decision by Redmond.
So fourth and 10. They'll bring in Ryan Auer for the punt. for the kick. The kick is up, and it is no good. The field goal attempt wide right. So Eureka maybe caught a little bit off guard by some of the big plays from CUC, but they're able to stand tall on defense, and ours kick no good. And that'll make it 24-7, 4.76 on the clock. You got to figure Eureka most likely just to take a knee here, head in the locker room with that 17-point lead.
And we see the Cougars have just really struggled on finishing drives and scoring in the red zone. What started off as a promising drive ultimately resulted in 0 points, and now you're at a 17-point deficit heading into halftime.
Well, Eureka, they take a knee as the clock hits 0 here in the first half. So the teams will head to the locker room. CUC, they received the second half kickoff, but they got some adjustments to make as they are trailing the Red Devils 24-7 on home turf. So we're going to take a 20-minute break on the field and up here in the booth, and when we come back, CUC gets the second half kickoff as they look up to make this 17-point deficit up against the Red Devils. We'll be back in just a minute on the Cougar Sports Network.
Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today. Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces, a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Hey, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane. So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall. So the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there. Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
Back here in River Forest as we're under 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. The Cougars will receive the kickoff as they trail the Red Devils 24-7. Peter Borkowski, Parker Kelly here on the Cougar Sports Network with you. And Parker, let's look over some of the stat leaders from that first half of action. In terms of the passing game, Jacob Redmond, 9 for 18, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Caden Frazier, 8 for 16, 111 yards for a touchdown. Nearly identical stat lines from the opposing quarterbacks. In terms of rushing, Angel Garcia leads all rushers with a net gain of 58. For the Cougars, it is Sincere Best with 19. And as for receiving, it is Sebastian Hill. He's got 98 so far on the game. Jace Levi not far behind at 88 for CUC. Hill's got the receiving touchdown for the Red Devils, while Henry Jones has the Cougars receiving touchdown. As Parker, Cougars trailing the Red Devils by 17 here in what feels like almost a must-win game for the Cougars. They're 0 on the year still as we're hitting the back half of the season, just 3 more games after this one. What are some of the key adjustments you want to see offensively or defensively for the Cougars if they want to make this comeback happen?
Offensively, I think it's pretty simple. Who's been your leading producer so far in terms of yardage? It's been Jace Levi, 4 receptions for 88 yards, and every time you go to him, it's a big play. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that Redmond has targeted him twice on the deep ball, both of which were converted. So keep getting the ball in the hands of Jace Levi. As in terms of defense, somebody on that defensive line for the Cougars is going to have to step up because right now that offensive line of the Red Devils is outmanning them, so somebody has to step up and stop the run.
Bartkus, a ground kick as the refs are going to blow the whistles. An odd kick there from Bartkus. I don't think it had any airtime at all.
Line drive.
Line drive on the ground ball, really. And so they'll have to redo the kick here. Jones and Prattley back to return for the Cougars. As Bartkus gets set for kick number 2. I think the ball fell off the tee, which is why it was such a weird kick. That time they had a holder in at number 19. Alex Glover, and a good kick ends up hitting the end zone for a touchback. So CUC really going to be a tone setter here offensively, Parker, on this drive. First drive of the second half. Everyone's well rested after halftime, unless you hope they're well rested after halftime. It's a good chance here for the offense to really show that they are still alive in this game despite not scoring since the second drive of the game for them.
Well, that last drive, what started out as a good little 2-minute drive, ultimately ended in 0 points. If you're the Cougars offense, you need a score right here to show that you are still very much alive in this game. So offense needs to come out firing.
First play of the drive is a handoff to Best. Falls forward for 5 yards of gainage. Clock is running here in the second half. CUC now on their own 30-yard line.
And Sincere Best is going to be the main proponent of that running back room here in this game due to injuries of Brown and Henson. So expect him to get a lot of carries here in the second half. We see the inside zone right there, able to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, and CUC, Park, their calling card on offense as Best. He's got a first down and some more here. Rush of 10 for Sincere Best. Their calling card for the last couple of years under Andy Lambert has been the rushing game offensively. You know, the first year under Lambert, they had DeAndre Daniels, who had an absolutely fantastic season. Their second year, they had Adarian Sykes really kind of come out of nowhere and prove to be a really good running back. And with both those guys off the roster now, they're really looking for what the solution is at running back. And, yes, they are dealing with some injuries here as Sincere Best picks up roughly 4 yards on that rush. yes, they are dealing with some injuries in the running back room right now, but they still haven't gotten that running game to where they wanted it to be, especially considering the last 2 years.
Yeah, and that running game hasn't been clicking like it's typically used to, but Jerron Brown is going to be their guy going forward, the freshman out of St. Joseph, Michigan. Fortunately, they're not able to have him for this game, but he's already established himself as that downhill physical runner. He's the guy that's area to cable a majority of the workload, but due to injuries, that's why we're seeing Best here this afternoon.
Hand off to Levi, who is in motion. He gets maybe a yard. They're going to say 2 yards out of it.
And right there, just a jet sweep to Jace Levi. Not exactly sure I agree with the play call, considering you're starting on the left hash, so you're already limiting the field for Levi to work with. And that right side of the field wide open, a lot more green grass to work with, but brings up a 3rd and short for the Cougars.
3rd down and 5 for CUC. In the backfield with Redmond is Best behind him, and then Quentin Grimes to his right. Hand off to Best. He gets stuffed up the middle. Cranks out another 2 yards. Still well short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 3 for the Cougars, and they're going to bring out the punt unit.
We see CUC running a little 20 personnel, means they have 2 running backs in the backfield. And I know Grimes is listed as a tight end on the roster, but in that situation, serving as a lead blocker, but an empty possession for the Cougars, now forced to punt. Not a good start here to open up the second half.
A little bit of a high snap. There is a flag on the play, and then Prattley hit after the punt. As more flags fly, unhappy about the call is number 9. That is Benjamin Smith. He was the one who hit Prattley right after the kick was off, so CUC might have another chance here depending on what the flags are.
And Prattley got up. He knew that's going to be a penalty. Signaled the first down sign. Looks like we're going to get a first down potentially for the Cougars.
Offsides on the Red Devils, which means first down Cougars. So on game, Parker, we've seen the Cougars really hurt themselves with the penalty, give Eureka more and more chances to do something when maybe it should have been a turnover or 4th down, whatever it may be. But now it goes the other way on the punt. Eureka's special team, a few blunders. That gives CUC a fresh set of downs offensively.
A bailout for the offense. Now, given the opportunity, now you have something to be able to go down and potentially make something happen. You're in Eureka territory and have a fresh set of downs.
So 1st down and 10 on the Eureka 47-yard line. Hand off to Best. He gets tripped up, but able to push for at least another yard or so. He gets 2 on the play.
And now we see a little 21 personnel from the, 12 personnel means 1 running back, 2 tight ends. We see that the Cougars brought in an extra offensive lineman and C.J. Morris stationing over on the right side. When they're in that formation, most likely indicates that there's going to be a run.
Redmond Best behind him, Grimes to his left. And Redmond fakes the handoff to Levi, keeps it himself for a couple of yards, gets 3 out of that rush.
Power read for the Cougars. Redmond reading that defensive end. The end went with Levi on the jet sweep, so that opened up the gap for Redmond. But nice job by Eureka, really stuffing the hole, not allowing Redmond to get any yards.
So you see Mosley off, Henry Jones in. As they get set for a 3rd and 5 here. Redmond, he looks for Jones and he finds him. Henry Jones stays on his feet, breaks the initial tackle by number 22, Malik Jones, and gets enough for a first down for the Cougars.
Right, they're a great example of yak yards after catch. Once Henry's able to get the ball in his hands, he's able to make a defender miss and pick up a couple more yards. Now that's another first down picked up by the Maroon and Gold.
First down and 10 on the Eureka 33-yard line. CUC back-to-back good drives put up here between the end of the first half and now this first drive of the second half as they hand it back off to Best. Best finds some holes in the defense. He's got enough for a first down, still on his feet as the pile is moved. And Sincere Best, one of his better rushes of the day, gives the Cougars a first down and some more as they are officially in Red Devils' red zone.
Cougars got bailed out by the Eureka offsides, proved to bode well for the offense now, moving the ball at a consistent pace. See what they can do in the red zone.
Best gets the handoff again, but right on his heels was number 34, Brendan Durr. We mentioned him in the pregame show, kind of the heart and soul of this Eureka defense. He's got 7 total tackles before that last play. See if they give him one there, as it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Cougars now. Durr is credited with the tackle. So he's up to 8 now on the day as Redmond fakes the handoff to Jones. Redmond keeps it himself, and he's got a first down and some more. Jacob Redmond makes it 1st and goal for the Cougars, looking to score their first touchdown since the 1:39 mark of the first quarter.
We see that the Cougars have attempted rushing it up the middle several points in today's game. Right there, a little bit of daylight from Redmond. He's able to get through that right side A gap and pick up some much-needed yardage for that Cougar offense.
And Concordia, they're going to take a timeout here, talk things over as this is a massive drive for them, trying to pick up some points on the very first drive of the second half. We'll see what Coach Andy Lambert and the rest of his offensive staff cook up out of the timeout when we come back in just a minute on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hey there, we appreciate you tuning into today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC football, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC FB Family. We'll see you on campus soon.
First and goal for the Cougars on the Eureka 6-yard line. As they're coming out of the timeout, looking to cut down this 17-point deficit as they trail the Red Devils 24-7. Cougars got a new running back out there in Jordan Garcia. And instead, they're going to keep it with Redmond. Redmond gets wrapped up by the leg. Number 17 in on the tackle for Eureka. That is Austin Hopkins, the linebacker. Good tackle there, able to wrap up Redmond's leg. Redmond could not escape it.
Also looks like defensive tackle number 91, Donovan Hathaway, able to get in there as well. It was a counter read by Redmond, which means the jet sweep was going to the right. He goes out the back door to the left, and good job by that defense, really sniffing it out and stopping the Cougars.
2nd and 8 for the Cougars, 8 yards to go. They're going to go through the air for Henry Jones, and it is almost picked off. Malik Jones had his hands on the football, could not reel it in, however. Almost a catastrophic throw there from Jacob Redmond. They catch a break with the Jones drop, and it is still 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line.
And if you're Jacob Redmond, you cannot put the ball in harm's way like that. It was almost an interception by Eureka. You're thanking your lucky stars that it was not picked off. And now another opportunity here on 3rd down for CUC to potentially get some points on the board.
3rd and goal. Redmond, he's going to keep it, and Redmond finds the end zone. Jacob Redmond scores. Touchdown, Cougars. Jacob Redmond, the rushing touchdown, his second of the year, and makes it 24-13. Cougars are going to look to cut the deficit down to 10 as long as the extra point is good.
And the Cougars going right back to the power read. Redmond seeing some daylight open up on that right side of the offensive line between the A and B gap, and the rest is history once he's able to find the crease.
And the extra point is up and good off the leg of our 7:47 left to go here in the third quarter. Cougars score off the Redmond rushing touchdown. It is now 24-14, still in favor of Eureka. Red Devils, they'll get the ball in just a minute, but first we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Kickoff here for Ryan Auer and the Cougars. They just scored off the Jacob Redmond rushing touchdown to make it 24-14. Squib kick from Auer. It's picked up by Billy Nelson, the main return man. And now he's got some room. Able to turn the corner, and he's brought down by the special teamer for CUC, Ryan Ayers, number 7. But still, good field positioning here for the Red Devils. They're going to set the first line of scrimmage on on Eureka's 48-yard line.
A pretty nifty return right there from number 13, Billy Nelson, setting up his team with excellent field position. Let's see how this Red Devils offense responds to the CUC touchdown.
Hand off to Angel Garcia. Eventually brought down thanks to number 2 in gold, Brandon Montford.
Angel Garcia been the primary running back along with Burnaby, but Eureka really riding him as they are able to pick up a good chunk of yards on second down, make it second and manageable. Good stop by outside linebacker / edge rusher Brandon Montford, really utilizing his speed to get to Garcia and making the tackle.
2nd and 4 for the Red Devils. Frazier gets the CUC defense offsides. Free play here, and it is picked off by Cameron Maybins, but this one likely coming back. CUC look to be the perpetrators of another offsides call.
This one's going to be wiped off the board.
Offsides is called on the defense, so the Maybins interception is no good. And that'll make it now first down for the Red Devils on the CUC 41-yard line.
Looked like it was Brandon Arredondo who just went offsides just a tick too early. And now that is another offsides on the Cougars. You're allowing Eureka to get a fresh set of downs to work with. Excuse me, that was on Pagan. Elias Pagan, number 66.
They hand it off to Sebastian Hill, the wide receiver, a little bit of a do-it-all man, as we've seen him have a couple rushes today. He gets 5 yards out of that one.
If you're the Cougars, you're going to have to figure out a way to stop this running attack. We see Eureka's challenge the Cougars horizontally and vertically, going north and south. Somebody on that defensive front 7 really going to have to step up to stop this attack.
Glover in motion. Frazier instead finds Hill. Hill uses the yard after catch to get a first down, steps out of bounds, and I'll bring up another set of downs for Eureka. And Barker, even though it took a while, Sebastian Hill's really been finding his groove as of late for Eureka, and we knew he was such a dangerous threat coming in. The junior, again, coming off an all-NAC first-team appearance last year as a sophomore, and Cougars kept him under wraps largely for the beginning of this game, but like I said, he's really coming into his own here.
Yeah, and Frazier's had 6 completed passes to Sebastian Hill, really utilizing him in his yards after catch.
Burnaby rushes up the middle, gets roughly 4 yards out of it. Burnaby, interestingly enough, Parker, despite being, an all-NAC member last year, being probably the lead rusher, in terms of just the depth chart for Eureka, really hasn't been that explosive today. He does have 2 touchdowns, which I know is weird to say, but that's also just kind of who Burnaby is he's not going to wow you with some big plays, big gains, as Frazier in trouble here. Now he's just going to have to rush it up, trying to get the first down, and he comes up a little short, but that is really Burnaby's game. He's not going to bust out those big yards against you, but he's just going to slowly chip away and power through your defense, and that's where he gets his yards from.
Well, Burnaby's not known for his speed. He's a physical downhill runner, embodying the identity of this offense, and we see that his 2 touchdowns have come in the red zone when it's a short yardage situation. So that is Burnaby's bread and butter, but Eureka has a lot of depth in the running back room. They've been able to utilize their running backs very well today.
Flag on the play. Frazier launches it into the end zone, and it's bopped off a few hands. Sebastian Hill, the intended receiver. As we'll wait for the call on the flag. Another offsides to the CUC defense. And Parker, these offsides really killing the Cougars' defensive momentum right now.
It's proven to be very costly at multiple aspects of this game, and it's unacceptable. You can't have, 1 or 2, that's understandable, but it's happened at several points throughout the game, and it's just you can't have as many penalties as you've been having and expect to win this ball game.
Especially this deep into the season. Early season, teams are figuring out the communications as it's a little flip to Garcia, and now there's going to be a flag. We saw Barnaby put into a wrestling move by Cougars number 11, Wesley Jackson, way behind the line of scrimmage, too. Unsure what was going on there. Jackson looking like John Cena out there, flipping Burnaby around.
It was just unnecessary roughness, looks like.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense. But that kind of falls in line with the offsides we're talking about, Parker. Just these, stupid might be a little harsh, but just these kind of brain fart moments almost of what are we doing here, right? You have so many offsides in the game. You think at some point you'd figure it out. There's no reason for that unnecessary roughness. It is in the name, unnecessary.
It literally is. It was so unnecessary. There was no reason for that penalty by the Cougars. Now you're setting up Eureka in great scoring territory.
First and goal from the 7 as Garcia is brought down. Number 36 and 49 on the play for the Cougars, as that is Isaac Young for the Cougars, and number 49. I believe that might be number 48, actually, Daniel Davenport.
So now Eureka, it's 2nd down, sitting about at the 6 or 7 yard line. And you've asked a lot of your defense today, so you're going to have to ask for him some more to really step up right here.
Garcia, another rush. He gets dogpiled by the Cougar defenders. They stand him up. And this is just a huge defensive drive in general for the Cougars, Parker. You come out in the second half, you get a touchdown, you cut the deficit down to 10. You don't want to ruin that momentum by allowing another touchdown here, especially a touchdown that's largely going to come through penalties and unnecessary penalties on the Cougars.
Yeah, and, I mean, it hasn't been all defense this drive. It has been in part mental mistakes. The Cougars have made several mental mistakes on this drive, resulting in Eureka just going right down the field.
3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line. And Frazier, he's going to look to the end zone. He has to step through the pocket. Frazier's got to take it himself, and he's brought down by the defense. Number 36 for the Cougars, the first man in the area. That is Isaac Young. And that'll bring up 4th and goal as the offense going to trot out the field goal unit. So Stephen Barkis will get a chance for redemption here.
And that's exactly what you asked by the Cougars defense, forcing Eureka to have to kick the field goal because they were well in prime scoring position. And good job of the defense holding them to a field goal.
Barkis 1 for 2 on the day for field goals. Make it 2 for 3 as that one is good. 30-14 now, the score in favor. 27-14, the score now in favor of the Red Devils. So we'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Eureka on top of the Cougars by 13. We'll be back in just a minute. Kickoff here from Barkis as plenty of airtime. Troy Prattley waves for the fair catch. So 1:35 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Parker, an interesting point here for the Cougars in this game. So your defense comes out. They make some mental mistakes, as you said. And luckily, though, they stand tall in the red zone. They hold Eureka to 3 points, which, just based on how many mistakes the CUC defense made penalties-wise, you're okay with 3 points. Now it's time for the offense to do their part and keep building on that momentum from the last offensive drive.
And that's been the theme of the ball game, is to keep building on the things that they've done well. Okay, you made some mental mistakes. You jumped off sides a couple of times. You held Eureka to 3, which is the main component. Now you score a touchdown coming out of halftime. You need to score another one because it's still a 2-possession ball game.
First play of the drive is a handoff to Henry Jones. Tries to bounce off some defenders, and now there's a dog pile. Eventually brought down for a gain of 6. So nice piece of running there from Henry Jones using his speed.
Henry Jones, just such a quick, twitchy player. They love to get the ball in his hands because we see that he can make some people miss, and he's so good with the ball in his hands. And he complements number 6, Jace Levi, very well.
And they're going to give it back to Jones. Jones able to rush through the defense for a first down. Flags on the play, though. That was caught in the elbow. Kind of hard to make it out on the camera, but the flag landed right into the elbow of Jack Arnett. Caught it somehow. But CUC, as of now, has a first down. We'll have to see what these referees have to say. And they're going to put the flag away. No flag on the play. So the first down will stand. Henry Jones back-to-back rushes, and he gets it done in just 2 tries. Brings up a fresh set for CUC.
And when you have those injuries to your running back room, you're going to rely on Sincere Best and Henry Jones as well. You kind of have that 1-2 punch. Best, a powerful runner, has a lot of lower body strength, and Jones offers that speed component to your game, and the Cougars did a nice job of utilizing that aspect.
And they give it this time to Sincere Best. Jones was in motion again, and Best now takes his crack at it. Comes 3 yards short of a first down. So you see having a little bit more success now rushing the football.
That's been their bread and butter for really since Coach Lambert arrived in River Forest in 2021. That's their identity, is running the football, and now it's starting to get going here in the third quarter.
Well, that'll take us to the fourth quarter. So CUC, they open up the quarter with a touchdown. Eureka, they respond with a field goal, and we have 15 minutes of football left to play. Concordia trailing the Red Devils by 13 here in River Forest. So when we come back, CUC looks to continue their drive and hope to make up this deficit. We'll be back in just a second on the Cougar Sports Network. Second and third for the Cougars on their own 44-yard line. CUC trailing the Red Devils 27-14 here in the fourth quarter. 15 minutes left to play in regulation. As Redmond, he looks downfield, and it is caught by Henry Jones. Henry Jones still on his feet and into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars! Chase Levi, on the reception. And the Cougars make it 27-20. Hope to cut it down to 6 if the extra point is good.
We see when you've targeted Jace Levi deep, it has worked for you. Another beautiful throw by Redmond on that fade route. Drops it right in the bucket. The defender didn't even see the ball coming. And nice job by Levi, flashing late hands, getting the ball, and then doing the rest.
Chase Levi on the reception. My mistake on the initial call. And because of the extra point from Ryan Allard, it is now 27-21. Cougars offense showing really, really good signs here in the second half, Parker. 2 for 2 in terms of scoring. And they've done it in 2 different fashions. Their first drive of the second half, it resulted in the touchdown, and it took them 3 minutes and 40 seconds of possession.
Yeah,
5 minutes 54. No, go ahead, Parker. I need to make sure I'm looking at my stats the right way.
No, you're good, but it's something that we haven't seen from the Cougars in a while. You get punched in the mouth in that first half, and then you come right out of halftime, score on both of your offensive possessions. And now, in the blink of an eye, it's a 6-point ball game, and we've got a good one here in River Forest.
Right. The first drive of the second half for the Cougars, 7 minutes and 13 seconds, wiped off a ton of time in the third quarter. And then the second drive of the second half for CUC, just 1:46. And that's also been kind of one of the problems with, the Coach Lambert offense sometimes, is they always seem to score in the same way. It was always long, methodical drives where maybe there were some passes, but it was largely the running backs doing the damage. And now here in the fourth quarter, they're showing that they can indeed mix it up. A 1-minute, 46-second drive. Those are the kinds of drives you need to sometimes keep the defense on their toes.
Oh, no, yeah. We mentioned in the pregame, Cougars number 1 in the NAC in time of possession. So they're expecting those slow, methodical drives from Coach Lambert's offense, but then when you score in less than 2 minutes, completely throws off the defense.
So first play of the drive for Eureka is a handoff to Burnaby, picks up 2 yards. Second down and 8. CUC has made this a real game here in the second half. We've only had 3 total drives, but CUC has scored touchdown on 2 of those drives. Eureka got a field goal on the other one.
Now what you need right here is a stop. You can stop them on second and third down, force them to punt the ball right back to you. And we know the offense has been hot here in the second half, so let's see what happens.
A little short throw to the side, and immediately brought down was the receiver.
See Eureka running a tunnel screen, which means The receiver starts outside, then he comes back inside to get the screen. They're trying to set it up to where he's able to catch the ball and get straight upfield. The Cougars have a lot of momentum on their side right now, probably have most of the momentum, able to sniff it out, get the stop. Now you're forcing a 3rd and long.
3rd and 9 to be exact for Eureka. A stop here would be huge for the Cougars. While Eureka trying to keep this drive going a little bit longer, trying to waste some time, keep a hot CUC offense off the field, and instead we'll get a timeout by Coach Barth and the Red Devils. They're going to try to settle things down, as you could just feel the energy emanating from the CUC bench. So 13-18 left to go here in the 4th quarter, and Parker, maybe take a chance here to just talk about what exactly the CUC offense is doing differently in this second half. Because, again, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for the offense, a far cry from what we saw in the first half, which was largely a futile effort offensively for the Cougars besides the 1 touchdown. So what's the main difference that you're noticing between this first half offense and second half offense?
Well, the case being the defense picked up the offense's slack in the first half. Now we've seen the defense make a couple of mistakes, but the offense has picked up the defensive slack. They're 2 for 2 on their offensive possessions here in the second half. That's been the main difference. Now it's a 3rd and 9. You're expecting a pass. You got to get a stop right here if you're the defense.
And Frazier goes downfield, and he finds a wide open man for the first down. That was Kobe Newman, the senior. A lapse in coverage by the CUC secondary. And because of it, Eureka avoids a big 3-and-out and now has a chance to waste a little bit more time on the clock.
That was a big-time throw from number 3, Caden Frazier, putting the ball right over the head of that outside linebacker and dropping it in the zone where no one was, picking up the first down.
They now give the ball to Burnaby. Bounces off the first line, evades another tackler, and now gets stood up. Whistles blow to end the play. Burnaby 2 yards short of the first down.
It's now a drastic sequence of events where CUC had a lot of momentum. You force a 3rd and 9 by Eureka. They're able to pick up the first down. Now they have a little bit of momentum as they're starting to march down the length of the field. More of a slow, methodical approach by them.
Yeah. And the snap is flipped to Burnaby, and he gets decked by the CUC defender. But he's able to pick up the first down beforehand. And that makes it 1st and 10 again for Eureka. So after struggling on the first set of downs of the drive, now they're finding some success quickly moving downfield.
And this is really Eureka's game where they're not any hurry. They still have the 6-point lead with 11 minutes and 30 seconds about left in this ball game. They're just trying to waste as much clock as they can while moving the sticks.
Ball given to Angel Garcia, and he's immediately sniffed out by the CUC front line. As there is a Cougar down on the field on his hands and knees currently.
Looks like it's Trayvon Thomas, but he's able to get up on his own. But
now he's back down. This would be a huge loss for the CUC defense. Thomas, a junior, one of the veteran leaders of this entire football team, as he's having trouble. He's having trouble staying up on his own power. Now he's going to take a seat and lie down on his back. So while Trayvon Thomas, one of the lead linebackers for the Cougars, gets checked out by the training staff, we're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. 11:22 left to go in regulation. Eureka on top of CUC 27-21. We'll be back in just a second on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hey Cougar fans, thanks for tuning in to today's game. For more information on the football program, visit cucougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game. Go Cougars!
So Thomas able to get off the field on his own power. A good sign for Cougar fans as he's not even heading to the athletic training table. So that's a very good sign for everyone related to CUC. As Eureka now has a 2nd and 9. Frazier, and he'll find his receiver in number 0 as he evades a couple tacklers. That is Jacoby Deloach. And he'll make it 3rd down.
Nice job of Frazier scanning, nothing opening down the field. Goes back to his check down, Jacoby Deloach, getting the ball in his hands. Once you're able to get it in his possession, let him do the rest and pick up a good chunk of yardage. Now it's 3rd and short for this Eureka offense.
3rd down and 4 to be more specific as Frazier gets this call from his sideline. Now breaks up the huddle. He's got 2 receivers on either side of him. Burnaby in the backfield trying to draw the CUC defense off, and he'll have to call a timeout as the clock just about hit 0. So Frazier trying to draw the CUC defense off sides. He cannot. Some good signs of progression from the CUC defense in that regard.
You know, Eureka just struggling to get the play call in right there. And that's kind of the veteran experience that Frazier brings to the table. One of the first things that opposing quarterbacks do when they get to a new field is they look for the play clock, and you want to be able to identify it at different points throughout the game. Really nice job of Frazier identifying the clock was running down, calling a timeout because it's already 3rd and short, and you don't want to get backed up anymore with a delay of game penalty.
So with the timeout breaking up, both teams head back out to the field. 10:18 left to go here in regulation. Eureka up by 6 on the Cougars. 3rd and 4 here for the Red Devils. Same formation, except he only had 1 receiver to his left. They hand off to Burnaby. He's plowing through the defense. Does he have enough? And they're going to rule him just short. 4th and 1, so hurry up offense here. Burnaby back in the backfield, likely going to him. It is Burnaby. Does he get stopped? He does. CUC on the 4th down, get the critical stop. It's a turnover on downs, and they're going to get the ball right back at their own 38-yard line.
And one of the things that I was talking about with Coach Lambert in our Coaches Weekly interview this week, something he brought up was the energy that this team plays with. They have so many young players on the 2023 roster, and we see right there, huge shift in momentum. They stop Eureka on 4th down when they were marching the ball right down the field and the sideline just erupting. And now if you're the Cougars, you get a score right here, you could potentially take the lead.
So big drive here for the CUC offense. 9:52 left to go in regulation. They're looking for their first win of the year. Redmond hands it off to Best. Best picks up 2 yards or so on the drive. I'm going to instead say it was a 3-yard gain for Sincere Best, the running back for the Cougars, a freshman out of Round Rock, Texas, alum of Cedar Ridge High School. As CUC getting the call in from the sideline. 15 seconds to go on the play clock. 2nd down and 7. And Redmond's going to keep that. He has to get around the pile. He does. Jacob Redmond with a little room to run. And he gets enough for the 1st down before stepping out of bounds. And CUC moves the chains along. Fresh set of downs coming up for the team in gold.
And we've seen glimpses of it throughout the year. That's what Redmond brings to the table, is what he's able to do on the ground with his legs. We see him right there bouncing it to the outside, getting to the right, picking up the 1st down, and a new fresh set of downs for CUC.
Whistles blow, and they're going to have to use another timeout. So CUC and Eureka both down to one timeout. 8:43 left to go in regulation. We'll have to see if that becomes a factor as we head in the later stages of this quarter. But for now, we're going to take a break while the Cougars talk things over. 1st and 10 on the 50-yard line. They're trailing the Red Devils by 6. We'll be back in just a second on the Cougar Sports Network.
In finding out more about Concordia Chicago, head to cuchicago.edu for information on our university. We appreciate you tuning in to today's game.
Both teams back out on the field. 1st and 10 for CUC on the 50. And Redmond immediately looks for Chase Levi, and it's broken up. Malik Jones in coverage. That ball looked like it was in both of their hands at the same time, so good job by both players to break up the pass from each other.
And Eureka's seen this same thing happen throughout the game where they're targeting Jace Levi deep. A nice job by Jones and getting some help over the top by number 0, Jack Arnett. They're trying to completely shut down Levi, something that they haven't been able to do so far in this game.
Hand off to Henry Jones. He gets around Arnett, who's trying to bring him down by the jersey sleeve. Turns it into a gain of 3. A little under 3. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Cougars. Big offensive drive here as they're trying to take their first lead of the day or cut this deficit down to 3 if it goes for a field goal. Malik Jones sprinting off the field in time. As they're going to hand it off to Sincere Best. Best gets brought down 2 yards short of the 1st down.
See some more 11 personnel from the Cougars, 1 running back, 1 tight end, giving the ball to Best. Try to let him get it up the middle and pick up the 1st down, but he's just a little short, so going to result in 4th and 3.
4th down and 3. The Cougars are going to go for it. Big 4th down here. Eureka just had a turnover on downs. They're looking to do the same to the Cougars. Redmond, he goes over the top for Levi, and it's broken up by David Hill. No flag. Chase Levi's calling for it. The whole Cougars benches. The referees keeping the flags in their pockets, and that'll be a turnover on downs, this time on CUC.
And we've yet to see the officials throw a flag intending for pass interference, but I definitely thought that would have been one that they called against Jace Levi. It looked like he was almost pulled down by that front horse collar, but they're not going to call anything, so turnover on downs for the Cougars.
So CUC's defense, they're going to have to go back to work. They have just over 7 minutes to force a turnover while not allowing a score. Flag is thrown while Burnaby still going, eventually pushed out of bounds. As it looks like Eureka is going to get pushed back, holding on them. So the big gain by Burnaby instead turns into a massive loss, as they're going to get backed up 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage. That'll make it 1st and 20 now for the Red Devils.
Big opportunity right here for the Cougars. You're forcing Eureka to work with 1st and a mile here. If you're able to get a stop, you still have some time to work with, but see what the defense
As
can
it's
do.
a bobbled snap, still on the ground, and Garcia able to jump on it. A bad snap from the Red Devils, and that's going to back them up even more. It is second down and the parking lot for the Red Devils.
When a bad situation gets worse, start out with the penalty to make it 1st and 20, then the botch snap. You're second in California right here for Eureka.
Second down. And still looking, second down at 33 for Eureka. And now they're going to jump off sides again. It looks like the receiver number 2, Jack Butler, went early. I don't know. I can't think of the longest yards to go for a first down I've seen in the college or NFL world, Parker. But this one's pretty up there.
Yeah, no. Eureka, it just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. 2 penalties and a botch snap all within 2 plays. So
now, something to note, the clock is running. We are down to 5:34 as Frazier, he's got to look downfield. And he finds a receiver, and making the catch was number 8, Kobe Newman. A huge play there for Eureka as they make up a huge chunk of that 2nd and 38.
And that's something you cannot allow to happen if you're the Cougar secondary. They were so backed up. Now it's a little bit more manageable, but still 3rd and long. You got to get a stop if you're the Cougars right here. You have to.
3rd and 16. Yeah, the main goal on plays like this is just prevent the big play. They let up a decent gain there from Newman. They still have 16 yards to go, the Red Devils do. Frazier, he looks downfield. The pressure brought by CUC. He's going to take it himself and slide to pick up at least a couple yards for the punting squad. But CUC, thanks in large part to some undisciplined play from Eureka, able to force the punt unit to come out to the field. And Parker, again, you've seen the tides kind of turn in the second half of the penalties, who they're affecting. Cougars did have that one drive where their defense just could not seem to catch a break, kept making mistakes. But now it's largely been the Red Devils who are making the mental mistakes. And because of it, CUC is going to have a prime opportunity to score here, less than 4:10 to go in regulation.
An excellent opportunity. Depending on what happens with the return, you could have excellent field position, still 4 minutes to work with as well.
And the punt goes out of bounds. We'll have to see where the referees officially mark it. Less than 4 to go here in regulation. CUC, they're down by 6.
Just a shanked punt right there from number 98, Sam Bartels, setting up the Cougars in probably one of their best starting field positions. And that really shortens the length of the field. You have about 4 minutes to work with. So you need to come up with some of your best offensive plays, maybe get the ball in the hands of Jace Levi a little bit more, maybe even Henry Jones. See what you can do.
But the thing is that Eureka is locking down on Levi now. They're sending 2 guys to him usually, so he's not as much of an option as he has been. So CUC, while you want to go to Levi, obviously you want to go to your playmaker, they have to find other ways to score. They do give it to Levi here on the rush. Chase Levi, he finds a hole to bust through. And he picks up the first down.
And you see how dynamic Jace Levi is. If he's not doing it in the vertical passing game, he's doing it on the ground. And to go back to your point, Eureka has been double teaming Levi when he's come off the ball running a route. So then that opens up some space to work with for Henry Jones. So it's kind of pick your poison if you're the Eureka defense.
Redmond keeps this one after the fake handoff to Jones. He's wrapped up. Number 3 and number 34 on the play for Eureka. That is Garrett Wayne and Brendan Durr, respectively. As it brings up 2nd down and 5 for CUC. We are at the 3-minute mark now. CUC has 45 yards to go. They need a touchdown. to at least tie it up, take the lead on the extra point. They go downfield for Levi, and it's almost intercepted. Jack Arnett, I think Levi got a hand on it, playing defender.
It was a smart move by Levi when the receiver turns to DB. We've seen Redmond's put the ball in harm's way a couple of times, and that one almost picked by Arnett, but good job of Levi getting that left hand in there and swiping the ball away and preventing the potential turnover by the Cougars offense.
2:47 left to go here in regulation. Cougars need to find the end zone. 3rd down and 5 here. And Redmond almost bobbled the snap. Sincere Beskett stood up at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up 4th and 5 now for the Cougars.
Not necessarily sure I agree with the play call right there. It's 3rd and 5. You want to go through the air right there. That would be ideal. Now it's 4th down, and if you don't get the conversion right here, Eureka has a chance to run out the clock and win the ball game.
Both teams down to just one timeout. Again, we've seen that coaches have had to use them at multiple points when they probably would prefer not to. See if that comes back to bite them. But CUC, they need to convert here on the 4th down. Redmond, and he finds Henry Jones, who gets the 1st down. Henry Jones catches it, and it just falls over, gets the 1st down, and CUC still alive, though they're at the 1:58 mark left to go in regulation.
And it's what I said, the defense is so focused on Levi that opens up an area for Henry Jones to work with. We see you ran a little hitch on the right side. He gets the ball, able to move the chains.
Coming in today, Cougars were 45% on converting 4th downs. Now they give it to Levi. Levi able to get around one tackle, eventually brought down by number 13, Billy Nelson. So you see they're playing against the clock now. 1.5 minutes left to go. And they still have over 35 yards until they find the end zone. 36 to be exact. 2nd and 9.
Got to move with a little bit more pace. If you're not going to take those vertical shots down the field, you have 1 minute and 10 seconds left to work with. You got to go.
Redmond, he's going to carry it. Almost brought down in the backfield. He's able to stay on his feet. Now Jacob Redmond, a big gain, trips up under his own will as he was falling forward. Cougar on the ground. 3rd down and 1 as that'll stop the clock. 56.3 seconds left to go.
Looks like that's Henry Jones down on the turf.
So CUC, 28 yards to go into the end zone. 1 until a 1st set of downs. And they have less than a minute to do all of that. They need a touchdown here. That'll at least tie the game. They can take the lead then on the extra point. As Jones thinking about standing up. He's going to take another seat.
Going back to that run by Jacob Redmond, he had some daylight and just a shoestring tackle by the Eureka defense. If you don't make that, it has a chance of maybe even potentially scoring, but a huge gain right there from Jacob Redmond utilizing his strengths.
Yeah, Redmond got past the defender, but like Parker said, got caught up a little bit, so he was falling forward by the time he broke the tackle, just could not stay up on his feet. And something else to note, CUC now had to take a timeout. They are out of them. They are at 0, so they are going to get no help in that category. And Parker, it's a weird situation because usually 3rd and 1, you're just going to run it. Right? You think you have 2 plays to basically get 1 yard on the ground. But you also can't really afford a rush because that's going to get the clock going.
Yeah, not sure if you want to run the ball right here, especially considering you're under a minute and you don't want to waste any more time and you have no timeout. So this is the time in the game where you have to be the smartest, really rely on those upperclassmen on this offense to really get the ball pushed down the field to try to potentially win this game.
So the Cougars offense talks things over with head coach Andy Lambert as well as offensive coordinator Chase Hankins. But really quickly looking ahead, CUC back here in River Forest 1 week from today against St. Norbert College. The home finale for the Cougars, as their last 2 games of the season are at WLC and at Rockford. So CUC
on the back end of their regular season, and it's kind of a lighter load. We saw they had some tougher opponents in that first half with Greenville and Aurora. And now you're playing teams like St. Norbert, who is tough, WLC and Rockford, both of which are they're winnable games. But the most important thing is Cougars got to focus on the right now, as they have a chance of potentially taking this one on their home turf.
Looking for their first win of the year. 0-6, 0-4. Trying to give these fans something to go home happy about. Now Redmond, a huge throw downfield, and it is caught for a touchdown. Dace reels it in. Touchdown, Cougars! And they tie it up at 27. Gabe Dace coming up huge.
We see the Cougars absolutely needed that. Jacob Redmond winding up to throw. It was tight coverage on number 10, Gabe Dace, but then he just has the defender beat by a couple of steps, able to drop it right in the bucket, and Dace with the diving grab. And just like that, pending the extra point, the Cougars are back in the driver's seat.
The Ryan Hour kick is up, and it is good. CUC takes the lead 28-27. And now they just have to play good defense for 49 seconds. 49.8 to be exact. And they can walk away with their first win of the year. Gabe Dace, that is the first time we have called his name today. And I can't think of a better time to make your name known.
And how about the freshman just with the incredible effort reeling in that touchdown grab, his second touchdown of the season, and he was a converted quarterback and now making a big play for the Cougars.
As you see the replay on your screen, Dace falling over, able to create just enough separation from his defensive back. And because of it, CUC has their first lead of the day. And how about that from Eureka? You lead for every second of the game, but possibly the last 49. And you might come away with the loss. Talk about opportunity striking for CUC. Eureka led or was tied for the entire game up until this point. It was 7-7 for a second. But now CUC 49.8 seconds away from their first win of the year. They're going to rely on their defense to step up huge here. While Eureka, they're going to need a big drive out of their quarterback, Caden Frazier, the junior. They're going to need him to go downfield as they need 75 yards here. Not even 75. You just need to get in field goal range, I should say. But either way, you need a lot of yards. Sebastian Hill catches it for the short gain and steps out. Eureka does have a timeout as well.
And if you're the Cougars, you got to be mindful of the fact that their kicker, Steven Bartkiss, not the strongest leg for the kicker position. You just got to prevent the big plays, and the clock is on your side right now. Eureka's not been known to score quickly, but the Cougars still have to play good defense.
Eureka averaging just over 11 yards per reception. They're going to need much more than that here as they go for Hill again. And now you start to get a little worried if you're the Cougars defense. Obviously, they're trying to prevent the big play downfield. But with 42 seconds left, Eureka is content just chipping away with these short passes to the sideline. And again, obviously, the trust they have in Bartkiss might be a little flimsy, but you at least want to give him that shot.
No, they trust Sebastian Hill in this case. He's been there, done that, and 2 straight passes to him for the sideline.
And now they look downfield, and they find a falling Austin Swike, so they're into CUC territory now.
So we saw 2 straight times they've gone to the left side of the field with Sebastian Hill. Now going over to the right side with Austin Swike, and they're having no problems really attacking that secondary and moving the ball downfield. You just got to hold off if you're the Cougars.
And they go to Butler there, a short gain, 32.6 seconds left. On the year, Barkis's longest field goal, as we try to pick it up here, is 34 yards. So not, like Parker said, not a huge leg. Second down. Frazier goes downfield, and it is incomplete. An amazing catch there, but he's out of bounds. And now the receiver on the ground. I think he landed on his knee. As I'm trying to make out the number, it's on the far sideline, about as far away as you can get from the booth. And it is number 8, Kobe Newman. But that'll bring up 3rd down and 4. 25 seconds left to go in the game.
So you have an experienced quarterback in Caden Frazier. He's doing a great job of really hitting those out-breaking routes, allowing the receivers to get out of bounds. The Cougars need to prevent that, and it's something they haven't been able to do on this drive.
Frazier, and he gets under pressure. Frazier's brought down. Huge sack there for the Cougars, as a jumble of white jerseys were in on the sack. That's going to force Eureka to use their final timeout here. As we get the replay here, CUC immediately bringing the pressure.
How about that? Number 93, the freshman Jamari Jackson, just able to penetrate that Eureka offensive line, get through to Frazier, and in a portion of the game when your secondary is struggling, that's when your front seven really needed to step up, and the freshman did that, exactly that right there.
Well, that takes Barkis out of any kind of field goal range. You know, if they got stuffed at the last line, maybe they would have thought about letting him have a crack at it. It was reasonable, at least. Now, obviously, there's no way you're going to let him attempt what would be my math always a little rough in this category, but 60-plus field goal, at least around the 60-yard mark.
Especially with the way the wind's blowing, you got to chuck it deep.
So 4th down for Eureka, 4th and 13. They're out of timeout, so they need a first down, and they need to get out of bounds as they head downfield, and it is brought in. They have to hurry, though. 12.7 seconds. The clock does not start until they are set with the line. Now they start the clock, and they quickly down it.
Some extra seconds running off the clock.
Again, the clock stops, and correct me if I'm wrong, Park, you know a little bit more about this than I do, but the clock stops while they set up the first down marker, and then the referee lets it go, I believe.
In this situation, I don't think the receiver was able to get out of bounds, so I don't think the clock should have stopped at all, and we see that's why Coach Lambert's a little upset over there on the sideline. So we'll have to see what happens with the clock here.
And it gets reset to 11 seconds. So they at least get the first down. They have a fresh set of downs here. It is 2nd down after the spike, as they are on the CUC 30. They find a man in Butler. He had a free lane to run. Instead, he steps out. You got to wonder if they're thinking about the field goal or not. You have 5.7 seconds left.
That was a nice response from Eureka. You get the sack from Jamari Jackson, and then a couple of plays later, you're back in field goal range. So we're going to have to see what happens right here. Looks like they're bringing the field goal unit out.
So Barkis comes out. This is the game. 5.7 seconds left. If it's good, Eureka wins. If it's not, CUC wins. The kick is up. Is it good? And it's off the upright. CUC wins. Oh, my goodness.
I can't believe it.
By a couple of inches.
What a way to go out. Peter, I'm at a loss for words right now. The stadium is absolutely elated right now.
CUC is saved by an inch or two. It hits the upright, the left upright. Barkas had the distance. And you look at the wind, and it is blowing. Trying to see where it is blowing to. I believe it's blowing to the right of the field goal. If you look at the American flag, right by the south gate of of Concordia Stadium, it's blowing towards the school, and he still hit the left upright. I'm at a loss for words, but I guess the simplest thing to say is Concordia has their first win of the season, a 28-27 thriller over the Eureka Red Devils.
And that's the beauty of the sport of football, is it's a game of inches, and ultimately that's what today's game boiled down to. CUC winning by the skin of their teeth, a couple more inches, and we're sitting here at 0-7, but due to the doink off of the left upright, CUC their first win, and it comes in style.
So CUC, against all odds, being down by a good margin at half, they come back. The winning field goal hits the upright. They come away with the win. They will improve to 1-6, 1-4 on the year. It is their first win over Eureka since 2019. Their first win at CUC over Eureka since 2009. Meanwhile, the Red Devils, they're going to fall to 4-3, 2-3 in conference play. As let's look over some of the stat leaders. In terms of the passing game, it was Caden Frazier, 227 yards and a touchdown, 19 for 28, while Jacob Redmond, 13 for 26, 208 yards, 3 touchdowns, though. Good day in that department for the sophomore man under center for CUC. Rushing-wise, it was Sincere Best ended up coming away the champion with 75 yards across 16 attempts. Not far behind him was Angel Garcia with 69. Ben Burnaby had 2 touchdowns on the day as well, rushing. Receiving-wise, Chase Levi, 144 yards and a touchdown, while Eureka, 125 yards from Hill, Sebastian Hill, and a touchdown. Those are your stat leaders for the game. But Parker, maybe give us some of your final thoughts on this game.
I mean, it boils down to the Cougars' second half offense. They come out of the gate 2 for 2 on their opening first 2 possessions, able to score a touchdown. And what we saw in the first half was the defense was really bailing out the offensive mistakes, and it was completely flipped on its head in the second half where the offense was bailing out the defense. And it's just, that's why football is just such a great game, where it's a game of inches, and the doink off of the upright results in the CUC victory, and it's a great day in River Forest.
Well, I want to thank everyone who made this production possible. Chandler Kerr and White McLaughlin working, spotting, Amaya Martin participation, William Bishop Green and Janie Turnez on camera, Sydney Lloyd, our producer for the day, and Emily Balban working scoreboard under our direction of Sydney Plaskas-Slaher and our sports information director, Cale McLeod. The Cougars come away with a thrilling 28-27 victory over Eureka, but don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to have a post-game interview coming up for you in just a minute, so stick around. The Cougar Sports Network, that's coming up just shortly.
What's going on, Cougar fans? I'm standing here with head football coach Andy Lambert after the Cougars get a thrilling win over Eureka College, 28-27. Coach, the beauty of the sport of football is it is a game of inches. What was going through your mind in those final seconds of the game?
Well, I can tell you on the kick, I'm just like, he hit it good, and I'm just like, it's in. And then it doinked off the goalpost. So, I mean, that was my main thought, was like, he hit that sucker. So, yeah, just it's a game of inches, and that's why you have to play every play like it's the one that's going to make the difference.
Absolutely, and we've talked about how the Cougars really needed a spark on offense. Jacob Redmond certainly provided that today. 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. How would you assess his performance?
I think it was good. He had the turnover in the first half coming out. He fumbled and maybe missed a couple throws late that we had the ball down late in the first half. But other than, the second half, I think he came out and played exceptional, without going back and looking.
And how does this win really propel the Cougars going forward as there's 3 games left in the regular season?
It gives momentum. The craziest thing about this team is, and we've talked about this some on, Fridays when we chat, is that they've kept momentum internally. And it's been, I don't want to use the word miraculous, right? But, it's crazy in that they're super positive. They've been – it's not like we haven't had some bad practices, right, since we started. But they just come in and love being together. They've had great lifting sessions when we do our team stuff at the end of practice. They've got great energy. And so, hopefully there's just something special starting to build. That's kind of, odd to say if you've only won 1 game during the season. But so we'll see what happens. They are fantastic young men, and they have really committed to making this season a joy for everybody. And to be honest with you, if you can capture that with 85 dudes, then there's a lot that you can accomplish.
Well, Coach, it was a thrilling win for sure. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the win.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for tuning into today's Cougar Sports Network broadcast. I'm Parker Kelly signing off. Wanted to say, as always, go Cougars.
Go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.